I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The U.S.-Iran agreement.
Ending the current conflict, reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and preventing Iran from ever obtaining a nuclear weapon. That's what it was all about.
And President Trump says if Iran doesn't abide by it, he can go back to bombing. And when signing it after the G7 summit in France, he said he wanted to avoid an economic catastrophe. Iran's president also signed it.
The United States will fully end the naval blockade of Iranian ports. The Iranians will ensure safe shipping passage in the Strait of Hormuz and no charge of tolls for at least 60 days. There is going to be a reconstruction plan with many Gulf allies. This is going to be discussed in the days ahead. And the U.S. will agree to end many sanctions on a schedule. This is going to be a tiered system. The Iranians aren't going to receive all of this relief at once. It will be performance-based.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Democrats and some Republicans in Congress critical of the concessions to Iran. War Secretary Pete Hegseth is at a NATO meeting in Brussels, urging allies to do more.
NATO 3.0 is post-Cold War recognition that it needs to go back to a real hardline military alliance.
And amid questions about the U.S. defense of Europe, Poland, where about 10,000 American troops are stationed, wants a permanent presence.
It yesterday approved steps to allow such a base, and the country's deputy defense minister says the United States has expressed interest. The two nations would share the cost. The Trump administration has described Poland as a model ally, but last month suddenly halted a deployment of 4,000 troops.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. The first tropical storm in the Atlantic this season, forming off the Texas coast, is no longer a storm. Arthur's weakened to a post-tropical cyclone, but it's still an issue moving inland.
Still some tornado warnings, some flood warnings now moving up towards the New Orleans area, as we're going to see Arthur continue to kind of batter the coast of the Gulf Coast, probably flooding for the next couple of days.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz. America's listening to Fox News.
The Fox News Books podcast returns for a third season with All American Patriotism, hosted by Fox and Friends weekend co-host Rachel Campos Duffy. Celebrate 250 years of America's greatness through the stories of service, family, and pride that encapsulates the American dream. Join Rachel as she highlights traditional American values that have been at the core of this nation for 250 years and will continue for the next 250. Follow and listen now at foxnewspodcast.com.
America, raise a glass to our 250th birthday with the Fox News Wine Shop, featuring limited edition USA 250 wines. Plus, get 20% off your first purchase with code FNRadio20. And remember, wines are delivered straight to your door, so don't wait. Order now at foxnewswineshop.com and use code FNRadio20 to save. 20% discount excludes wine club offers and cannot be combined with any other promotion. Expires July 31st, 2026. Must be 21.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Xtra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los on Thursday. Thank God it's Thursday. So close to the weekend, you can touch it. Bryce, it seems to insinuate this morning, Front Office Los, that we should be able to touch it, but we cannot. I don't know why.
That's not how the rules work.
I don't know why he's trying to break the rules. I don't know why he's trying to get us in trouble this morning. You can't touch it. It's just to look at.
You get kicked out of the club for that stuff.
That's right. They'll show you the door. They will show you the door if you start trying to touch.
Feels like one of those weeks where we should be able to touch it.
Yeah, that's okay. I see why you want to touch it, but you cannot. That's the thing.
All I'm pointing out is that if you try and take part in the rockin' portion of Rockin' in Atlanta at Tattletales, they will show you the door.
That's right, they will. And it will be costly because it usually comes with handcuffs and,
You'll be swearing like, no, listen, I'm like feeling Motley Crue. They'll be like, no. No, not at all.
I'm like the entire crew all rolled into one. I mean, I've got Tommy Lee's arms and Nikki Sixx's heart. Mick Mars, but I don't know what he's got to provide, but Vince Neil's, you see what I mean? Get me back in there. And then they take you to the jailhouse. It's no good.
That's right.
It's no good. You can't be Motley Crue all rolled into one. Not until tomorrow. Tomorrow, that's when the day. That's when it is. That's when it happens. Front Office Los, what are you up to this morning?
Let's see. We're getting ready to jump on a flight this afternoon to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, the fun part about all of it, we've already received the information from Delta that hey, we might have some flight issues going on with some of the weather in the area. So we're just going to cross our fingers and see whenever we get there.
Roll the dice. Yeah. We'll just
see when.
It's like Las Vegas, We're just rolling the dice. But I hope everything clears up, and
I certainly hope so, because right now there is we didn't actually know about this. So I had told you yesterday that my dad was coming into town because he's watching the kids.
Yeah.
What we didn't know is that my in-laws decided they're not flying from Huntsville to Minneapolis. They've decided we're going to fly from Atlanta, and so they just showed up randomly yesterday.
Well, that's odd.
We were like, hello, okay.
Well, did we get enough groceries, hon?
We're now at the point where it's like, okay, it's a little bit more of a fuller house.
Yes, that's right.
That we weren't planning on, but it's been fun.
Yeah, okay, well, good enough. But they're still going, and it'll be great to have them there, I'm sure, to cheer on the team.
A bunch of grandparents and everything else. It'll be fun. Like I said, it's nationals. We are going to be ranked 4th going into this thing out of 24 teams, and so you just kind of see where everything plays out.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
It's nerve-wracking, Tug.
I know.
Intense 11-year-old volleyball.
I know. It actually is. And if anybody has ever done this before, travel sports at a really high level, it is. It's really nerve-wracking. And, you just sit and bite your nails. You plan out the way that it's supposed to happen in your head, and then it never goes to plan, and sometimes it goes better than you expected, but not usually. It usually goes the other way. So I know exactly what you mean, and I bet there's parents and grandparents.
I'm glad that you endorse this, Tug, because some people look at this lifestyle and they're like, what is wrong with y'all?
I don't care about that. Dude, live your life the way you want to. That's what I would tell those people.
I agree. And guess what? It is weird. Yes.
And joyfully weird and amazing. And it'll be the best memories that your kids will ever have. My son, who's now going to be, in a month and a half, going to be a senior in college, he still talks about those years. Those are the best memories of his life. He, and wouldn't go back and change a thing. From the heartbreaks to the championships and everything in between, it built such character in him. It built such drive and determination. We wouldn't change a thing. So if you don't want to do that, okay, but let us who do alone.
That's right.
Let us be ourselves. Let us
leave us alone to light basically $20 bills on fire.
That's right. It's stacks of money on fire. It's fun. I know y'all are going to do good, and I'm pulling for the girls. So I know you'll keep us posted. We always text back and forth during those things. So
should be a fun time. They'll start tomorrow, 9 a.m. tomorrow, 9, 11, and 1 o'clock.
Yep. The Bulldogs got shown the door yesterday. It was not a real good trip to Omaha for the Dogs. I think they hit like $150 for their time in Omaha. They did not play well. And yesterday it showed up again with just not hitting the baseball. Pitching was pretty good, good enough to at least compete, but the hitting was not, Los.
Yeah, if you were looking forward to watching some decent baseball yesterday between your major league team and perhaps your college team, you went to bed a little bit upset.
Yeah, I even went to bed early. I was like, okay, I see the writing on the wall for both. And I was like, I've been up late every night. I see what's happening. I'm going to let this go. Woke up this morning, and exactly what I thought was happening did. And I got, a good 25 minutes, 30 minutes of extra sleep.
I think I pretty much did the same thing. I think right by the time we got to, I don't know, maybe like 9:45 yesterday, it was like, this ain't working out.
Yeah, this is not where it is.
It's time to shut this thing down.
Yes, no doubt. So we got a peace deal in Iran. That should be the first thing to know this morning on Extra 1063.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Extra, the Morning Extra. Tug so bold, deep in the story, breaking news that's bold.
At the G7, Donald Trump signs the Memorandum of Understanding. I kept seeing the MOU, and I was like, what the heck is an MOU? And I had to look it up, and that's what it is, a Memorandum of Understanding. Not necessarily a treaty or a peace deal per se, but it's an agreement between the two nations to bring this war to an end. And I think most people are happy that is what has happened. They want Donald Trump to focus on the midterms. They want him to focus on domestic issues. and that's where he's going to turn his attention, Los.
Well, and you start looking at just some of the details of this, and it does basically end this. Now, assuming that you can basically tell the Iranians that if you don't handle your business, then we're going to bomb you again.
Yes.
Which that's the threat. That's how right. That is the enforceable end of this peace deal. But for all of the people that were telling me, well, this is a terrible deal, I was like, now that you actually have it, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, maybe you've gone to the Wall Street Journal.
Yep.
You know, the leftist point has been like, we're giving them $300 billion.
That's not
it's a loan.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And here's how this is going to work. No, none of the points that were being pushed in the last 48 hours have turned out to be, again, according to the document, as best as I can understand it and looking through it, any of the points that people were hitting, if you were buying into that, it's because you were buying into what the liberal media was telling you.
Yeah, which is easy to do because it's overwhelming sometimes. And I even had listeners reaching out last night asking about that stuff, that, you know, in the evening, kind of when the news broke. And I was like, realize that the $300 billion, J.D. Vance said, this is not going to be American taxpayer dollars, and it's not. It will come mainly from the Gulf states, who have said we want to help them rebuild their infrastructure. You write in a loan form, look, does that ever get paid back? It's from the Gulf states. I don't care.
I don't really care.
It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with us.
I'm not up at night going, how do we get back the $300 billion we didn't loan them?
That's right. Exactly. So it doesn't hit. It just doesn't matter to me. That part doesn't matter to me. If it have been U.S. taxpayer dollars, that would have been way, way different. I would have been very uneasy with that. But the other thing is, it doesn't matter what signed, in my opinion. It does not matter what signed. I don't know that I trust I do not trust the Iranians to follow through with anything. At some point, we may have to go back in. And Donald Trump has said that's what we will do. Let's hope that's not the route that they choose. Let's hope they choose to stick to what they've agreed to.
This is not complicated. Everything goes back to what it was several months before, with the exception of their nuclear program is over.
Right.
Was that not the goal?
That was the goal from the get-go. They cannot have a nuclear weapons program.
People are like, the strait is open again. Like, yeah.
No, that's great.
Just like it was 4 months ago.
Right, exactly. Perfect. Right? That's what you wanted. That's what we wanted. That's what I wanted. And now we're back to where we started, and everything seems to be pointing in the right direction. You've seen the everybody react positive for the most part. The people that hate Trump are going to say it's bad and talk about how horrible it is.
Oh, they've gone quiet now that it's out there.
Well, yeah, right. But at some point, when they do read it, they will be back out there screaming and hollering and telling you that Trump's the devil and he's done this incorrectly and it's awful. That doesn't matter. What they say doesn't matter. What matters is that this is coming to a conclusion, and Donald Trump is going to focus on the domestic policies that will help him win the midterms. That is what matters, 100%.
That's all it comes down to. By the way, with Iran not having a nuclear program any longer.
Right. Yeah, so you accomplish the goal, and now you can pivot and start looking at the midterm stuff. Gas prices will have already, we've documented.
They're already crashing. The futures market's dropped.
That's exactly right. That's already coming down. And that was the last, sign, I suppose. Because I tried to make the point, when people were driving around and they see inflated or higher, not inflated, but higher gas prices, that was a reminder, hey, we're doing something overseas. This is causing pain in my pocketbook. Those signs are going away. So there's no reason that the Republicans can't go in and do extraordinary things in the midterms. They should be able to. Win. They're projected. If you look at all the polling, if you look at the things Harry Enton says, we are in such good position to retain the Senate and potentially even the House. Because of what Donald Trump has done, because of the leadership that he's provided. So if you do that, you're going to buck the system of history again. And Americans should be thrilled by that.
I would point out that getting rid of, and the Supreme Court definitely gets an assist here, when you get rid of racially gerrymandered districts, you now have a situation where you're going to have a president and administration that gets basically about basically a little bit over 4 months to show you here's where things are in America under our leadership, which, by the way, does include $73 when it comes to what people were paying for a barrel of oil yesterday, which continues to fall. So that your gas prices will be dropping here that we're going to see over the next couple of weeks, right for the heart of travel season. But because of the lack of racially gerrymandered districts, you really are only going to have to win 4 of the 18 toss-ups in order to retain the House.
No.
That's awesome.
That's great news. Well, and the focus will be there on those midterms. Now that the focus is going to be able to shift away from the Middle East. And we've heard people say, hey, I wish we weren't involved in the Middle East. Done. I wish we were focused on domestic issues. Done. Everything is lining up just the way you had asked for it to. And the people that didn't want the war to begin with, that didn't want that to start, didn't understand the reason to go in there and eliminate the nuclear power program, you got that as a cherry on top. You got that as a bonus, and now you're focused on the things that you want to.
We are about 10 days away from this being a distant memory. That's how quickly it happens in this country now. If we're not involved in something and we're not involved in it every single day, and that drumbeat, it fades so incredibly fast now. Right. We're not gonna get to July and people are sitting back like, oh, I can't believe America's involvement in Iran. No, they'll be busy talking about what is new on the Whopper.
Well, okay, yes, with that too. But then they're going to talk about all the incredibly good economic news lately too, like consumer spending in the month of May, specifically new cars were up again 4 months in a row. Consumer spending has improved and gotten better. And has remained strong. Even with higher gas prices, people are buying cars. So they knew that at some point we were going to prevail in this, and we feel comfortable with President Trump in the driver's seat. Whatever he is doing, I'm behind. I feel good about this. And that's showing up on CNBC and it's showing up everywhere else. You got to be satisfied with that, too. So even though you did something in Iran to secure America's future, secure the world's future, maybe, you also got people that believed in what Donald Trump is doing domestically, and those numbers from CNBC and those specifically new car numbers jumped off the page at you. You couldn't help but not see it. It continues to be good for the president and the administration.
A week ago, your Aunt Peg and every other person got to bring up like, oh, look what's going on in Iran. By next week, they'll be talking about McDonald's bringing back the fried apple pie.
Who didn't love that as a kid, Those were great.
Did you hear the fried apple pie is back? It's back.
They're not doing that baked one anymore. They're going to fry it right down there with the French fries. It's going to be great. My daddy used to love those things, man. God rest his soul. I miss him every day. I'm telling you, there was not a trip to McDonald's that he did not leave with a fried apple pie. So today, he is smiling down going, one day I'm going to get me another one of those.
It's finally happened.
Well, it's like 18 years since that's been gone. I didn't realize it's been so long.
Do you think that when you make it to the hereafter and you run into your dad, are you going to be like disappointed to find out that all he's been doing is chowing down on McDonald's fried apple pies
and not gaining a pound
and just kind of hanging out, being like, "This is great
because it's perfect."
This is great. This is paradise.
That's exactly right.
And they got the fried apple pies.
Yeah, he's like, you still get to watch all the games that you used to watch down there too. I watched the Braves lose last night. That part wasn't as great. Georgia lost, but those fried apple pies that I've been munching on and not gaining a pound. My blood pressure's fine. Cholesterol's good. Heart is thumping like crazy. I don't even have to work out. Nothing. It's perfect here. And fried apple pies too. Let's go. Yes, I mean the amount of amazement that we'll see, I can't wait to experience.
Dad, what is the meaning of life? He'll be like, fried apple pies.
I knew it down there. I was confirmed up here. It was great. Just reducing life to fried apple pies. That's fantastic what that is. Oh, Lord. 6 o'clock hours brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. The Talk Master Neil Bortz is up next.
Stream Become Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Xtra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Xtra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Summer is here, and it's time to enjoy your outdoor oasis as a family. Don't know where to begin? At Stovall & Company, we have everything you need to make your landscaping dreams come true. From premium mulch and topsoil to a wide variety of plants, trees, shrubs, and annuals, Stovall has it all. Check us out at StovallInc.com.
Hello, folks. This is your captain speaking. As we prepare to take off, I'd like you to draw your attention to the dimmed lights, lit candles, and soothing sounds of smooth jazz. We'll be making love shortly and taking off in just a moment. Please fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride. And this is your captain speaking again. As you can see, we're experiencing engine failure. Looks like we're not going to get this bird off the ground tonight.
Sound like your sex life? Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? If you're struggling with ED, we understand the feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there is help. You need Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They specialize in treatments like the P-Shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimix. Schedule your appointment today. Call 404-777-1911 and learn more online at tbtofga.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is former law enforcement officer and licensed clinical medical health counselor, Dr. Kareem Paranda. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
So you got into an argument. Things got heated. Then a fight broke out, and it landed you in jail. Now what? You need A Second Chance Bail Bonds. They can get you or your loved one out of jail quickly, in most cases, in a few hours. So make the right call. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hank Williams Jr. live Saturday, June 27th, Ameris Bank Amphitheater with special guest Sammy Kershaw. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. There were 2 1s, 3 3s, 3 4s, 1 0 4, 3 6s, 2 6s, 2 7s, 2 0 7s, 2 9s, and 3 12s. I was staring at these numbers to unravel the GOP's uniform numbers for the annual congressional baseball game at Nats Park. Congressional Republicans and Democrats play each other in the event. It's a custom dating back to 1909. No other athletic team in any sport on the planet allows players on the same team to wear the same numbers. But since this is Congress, lawmakers get to choose whatever uniform number they want. The Democrats aren't much better with their uniform algebra. 4 Democrats utilized the same uniform digits. There were 2 3s, 2 11s, 2 15s, and 2 25s. You get the idea. Old Park baseball vendors used to hawk their wares by shouting, "You can't tell the players without a scorecard." And with all of these numbers, a scorecard won't do. You might need an abacus. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Fox Country.
I'm Michelle Polino. Jelly Roll and Bunny XO are divorcing after nearly a decade together. Jelly Roll, whose real name is Jason DeFord, filed the documents in May, citing irreconcilable differences. He and the Dumb Blonde podcast host plan to file an agreement dividing their assets and debts. The country singer was seen without his wedding ring during this year's CMA Fest, the first week of June. While Brett Eldridge did the opposite. The country crooner surprised fans with an Instagram post Monday sharing black and white photos of himself and an unnamed woman in wedding attire. He wrote, "I met an amazing woman who truly loves me for me," adding, "Along the way, we got married." And Tim McGraw and Reba McEntire will headline Nashville's Let Freedom Sing Music City July 4th celebration, which will be expanding to 2 days, kicking off July 3rd, featuring 5 stages of music throughout downtown Nashville, all free and open to the public. That's Fox Country on Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. A shot to reversing aging has long been sci-fi plot material, but now it's edging closer to reality. The world's first reverse aging drug was injected into a human earlier this month. Boston-based biotechnology firm Life Biosciences has begun dosing patients in a milestone FDA human trial aimed at reversing age-related vision loss. The experimental gene therapy is called ER100 and works to essentially clean up the instructions that DNA provides, allowing cells to remember how to function as they once did. If the current trial proves ER100 is safe and effective, scientists will likely jump to find where else in the body it could work. The current trial for ER100 is small on purpose, so participants can be closely monitored. The therapy is injected directly into the eye, and then it's activated later by a course of antibiotics, which serve like an on-off switch for the treatment. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Thursday, June 18th, and here are your headlines. President Trump returned to the United States after a G7 summit in France, where a U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding was signed aimed at ending months of fighting. The agreement calls for an immediate ceasefire, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, limits Iran's enriched uranium stockpile, and a 60-day period to negotiate a broader deal. Redistricting will not be considered during Georgia's special legislative session that began yesterday. House Speaker John Burns and Republican leaders informed Governor Brian Kemp that lawmakers will instead focus more on property tax issues and election-related legislation, including changes to ballot counting procedures after the state eliminated QR code voting systems. And finally, the first named tropic storm of the season has formed in the Atlantic. Tropical Storm Arthur is expected to bring heavy rain, gusty winds, and a threat of flash flooding to Georgia. Forecasters say Metro Atlanta could see 1 to 3 inches of rain with wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour tonight. A flood watch is in effect through Saturday morning, and officials are warning residents to prepare for possible downed trees and power outages. Today's weather will feature heavy rain with a high of 83 and a low of 70. Your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. We are so proud to have Neil Bortz on the show this morning.
That's not what you said earlier.
Well, that's what I'm saying now. I've changed my mind.
Too. Why are you winking at me?
I heard it. I changed my mind.
I know, Talkmaster.
Like J.D. Vance, I changed my mind.
I heard it. How you doing this morning, Neil, with all your travels?
Finally, we are in one place that we'll probably spend about the next month in.
Month?
And
that's the Rocky Mountains.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Well, that's a large enough area that no one's going to find you, but really well done.
Rocky Mountain High.
We're behind armed guards anyway.
Okay.
Good Lord.
So what's the temperature here today? It says feels like 41.
Lord, that's chilly out there.
It's nice.
The high will be in the low 70s.
It's not terribly different than here. I think we're going to get about 75, 76.
There is a big difference. I don't wear a damn bulletproof vest around here.
Fair enough.
Fair.
There's virtually no chance of random violence from somebody. Oh, he's suffering mental problems.
Well,
that's all part of the damn script, isn't it now?
Well, don't get on
Every
MARTA.
time huh?
I said, well, don't get on MARTA.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, when I lived in Dumpwoody, I've told you this before, MARTA was very handy to get to the airport from that whatever the hell station it is up there. But no longer. No, you could not get me on a MARTA train right now. I mean, look, that brings me to one of the little notes that I made here, and this about you have got a they them in the. Is it the Fulton County Commission or the Atlanta City Council? Fulton County Commission, I believe.
Yes,
no,
sir.
Atlanta. Kelsey Bond.
Yeah.
They them.
Yeah. I saw that too.
They them is a particularly sick kind of individual. You do not want serving in public office.
It doesn't seem like a good thing to have happen. Somebody that is that is struggling with a mental illness to represent a lot of people. I agree.
I know, and I agree with you. You just flat out stated it. If you use they them pronouns, you are suffering from a mental illness.
Yeah, it's been that way for I don't know as long as time has existed.
Yep, you are deranged.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, we need more police diversion programs. We don't need more policing diversion programs. And you know what gets me is I hear somebody tell crime has dropped. Do you guys believe crime has dropped?
Not particularly.
I believe that reporting crime has dropped. I believe that in many, I can't say this absolutely for Atlanta. I don't pay that much attention, don't live there anymore. But I think that there are efforts underway in government circles that say, well, let's not report this as an assault. Let's just go ahead and reduce the charges here to public disturbance. And that way it's not an assault. It doesn't go on the records as an assault. And I think that goes on all over the place, that the reason crime is going down is because of reporting issues. First of all, they categorize it down when they catch the criminal. I'm not buying it. But we need diversion programs. Then we got this governor of, where was it? Ohio, the governor of Ohio. He wants to get rid of the death penalty. He says it doesn't serve to deter violence. Hell no, it doesn't deter violence if you execute the guy 18 years after he committed the murder. We need a crash program in this country to come up with a way to give people their right to a fair trial and an appeal, and then kill them. Then execute them.
Yeah, no. Well, look, I think a lot of people feel that way. Why do
you spend 25 years on death row?
And then on top of that, just the money, the funding to feed, house, all the things that go along with it.
Ongoing appeals in the interest of maybe one person out of 1,000 out of 10,000 end up finding evidence that gets them off of death row.
It's not even out of 1,000. It is so rare, and. It's almost as rare as bungee jumping without a cord.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is why you don't go and do these sort of things in third world countries, in my opinion.
I have a lot of politicians a lot of people I'd like to send to Brazil for a bungee jump.
Yeah, I'll put it this way, Neil. I look at it like this. I will never, ever have a parachuting accident jumping out of a plane. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I would never jump out of a plane with a parachute.
Why not?
Because
the possibility of dying.
I will never go skydiving. Like Tug is the adventurous one. He's like, he'll jump out of planes with a parachute.
Used to be.
Tug would be like, I'll go bungee cord off a bridge. You know
Tug,
what?
Have you jumped?
I have, yes, sir.
How'd you like it?
I loved it. It was the most amazing feeling in the entire world. I don't know that I have the courage to do it like I did when I was 20 and in the military.
Well, I had to be 20. I had to be 20 and in college, and the only reason I did it is to spite my father. Why would anybody ever jump out of a perfectly good airplane? I want to do it, Dad. Okay, I'm signing the release. He thought that I was going to wuss out,
and then you didn't. See, I was already in military, so I'd already moved away. But I went bungee jumping 4 or 5 times, and then skydiving. I've only been once, but man, I loved it.
You know what I regret is that, when I jumped, basically we were using military surplus parachutes.
Sir, you had me at surplus.
That's right, sir. That makes me nervous, Neil, for you.
But now they have these canopies that you can fly.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see that, I said, "Damn, I wish I could have tried that." But at my age right now, no, I don't.
But same here. I mean, I'm 49, and there's just that part of me that.
Oh God, how can you live being that old?
Well, no, it's not that, Neil, necessarily. It's just that as you get older, you become less adventurous. Is all? Don't you agree? Do you think that?
Not Neil.
No, well, okay. Other than Neil, everybody else seems to become a little more conservative.
We're adventurous, but I mean, not in ways. As much as I hate to say it, my 81-year-old physical body probably has some limitations that were not in place when I was 31 years old.
Fair enough.
All that makes sense. All that adds up.
I'm not going to jump out of airplanes.
Well, I'll also never have a hot air balloon ride that ends with me in a bunch of electric cords.
Did you do that too?
just pointing out that there will never be a point where it's like, oh, look at those wires that are filled with electricity. We might run into them. I'll never get in a hot air balloon either.
Oh, that is something amazing. That is something amazing.
Is it amazing? It seems terrible.
No. I mean, except when the burner is, the burner's on, it's so quiet up there.
Now, I can see that a little bit.
Like death.
Death is very quiet.
What's really, if you happen to descend through a cloud and you're in the middle of a cloud, which you're not supposed to do, but what the hell, if you need to land, you got to go down. But anyway, your voice echoes in a cloud.
Wow. When
you're not burning, you start talking, it's echoing, it's bouncing off all those raindrops. It's really the water drops in the cloud. It's really surreal.
Gosh, man, that's cool.
Or I could go in my bathroom and do the same thing.
And get the same echo.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. There's ways to replicate it.
I don't need the Neil Bort's thrills, okay? I'll get my thrills other ways.
That's right.
That beats the hell out of what you're going to the bathroom for now.
True, absolutely, 100%. No doubt about it. By the way, Neil, as Talkmaster joins us right here on the Morning Extra, so I had to look into it. There has been somewhere between 8,800 and 9,000 people that have been on death row in the last 50 years. 202 exonerated from additional information, and typically it's been DNA evidence that they didn't have at the time period. So 202 out of 9,000.
Yeah. So look, you ought to be able to have the trial. Let them prepare for the trial. Then you have the trial, the appeal, and then the execution. You ought to be able to have all of that within 90 days. And I guarantee you, if somebody, some future Carmelo Anthony, who they're trying to make into the next George Floyd, but you'll think twice before you stick a knife in somebody's heart. You know what? I could be executed within 90 days if I even think about doing something like this. And I was going to rant with you guys this morning because I was watching some police information last night. It is completely unbelievable. Most people do not realize this, but in an urban setting, if you see a young black male on the streets, what do you think the chances are? It's overwhelming chances, yes, they have a gun. Because you can't have your street credibility as a young black male if you don't have a gun.
Just like Tug.
You have to have a gun. And it has to have an extended magazine. And the barrel has to go down your pant leg. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And, the cities are safer now. They're safer. No.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, here's a project for you because here's a project. This was a lot of fun. Is Atlanta still spending I don't know, I haven't researched it, millions of dollars a year on the arts?
Oh, I would imagine so. I mean, I don't have any evidence or any information in front of me necessarily, but I would imagine the answer is yes.
Well, when I get bored, I'm dangerous.
I love it.
So,
$2 million, by the way, allocated for this year for municipal support for the arts program.
How much?
$2 million for this year.
I think that may be down. But anyway, I went and got these applications that these so-called artists file with what I believe at this time was the Atlanta Council for the Arts or something on what they were going to do with the grants they got of other people's money. And then you get their applications, but then you go back and you get the written report that they had to file to show what they accomplished with their grant money. And it was stunning what some of these people got away with. And somewhere, I hope I didn't get rid of those files, but somewhere like somebody's going to do a poetry reading.
Oh,
so
yes.
I need $600,000 to do a poetry reading for disadvantaged children in the community.
What is the likelihood, Neil? What is the likelihood that some of that money, to get the grant, you have to agree to peel off some and send it back to maybe a politician or a political party? What do you think the likelihood of that is?
Well, I think
it's strong.
About this, I think it is. But this poetry reader eventually had one kindergarten class that they read some poems to fulfill their obligation under a $600,000 grant. And meanwhile, there's a family somewhere in Atlanta that's having trouble putting food on the table and keeping their rent paid because the breadwinner lost his job. They could use some of that $600,000, but oh no, an artist has to read poetry to a kindergarten class. Get into the records in Atlanta right now and find out how much of that crap there is going on.
Yeah, I bet it's a bunch.
Let me just say, the executive director for the city of Atlanta, it notes that she is nationally recognized as a leader in cultural equity, arts administration, and community transformation.
Oh my God. Cultural equity.
Wonder what that person makes.
What in the hell does that mean?
Well, nothing. Nothing. It means nothing.
It's
there's no value.
I'd rather read about flesh-eating bacteria.
Well, at least that's interesting.
Equity.
Yeah, at least that's interesting.
But the left loves the word equity because they think that people actually mean that what they're talking about there is equal rights. It's not equal rights. It's equal results. And that's in a nutshell, that's what they're talking about when they say equity, equal results. Everybody ought to have the same amount of stuff. And you keep electing these so-called democratic socialists who really are not democratic at all. They're just socialists. And now the stronger they get in the cities in this country, the worse it's going to hurt. Wait till they start telling people with large houses, you have 6 bedrooms in your house and you only use one of them. You're going to have to make those other bedrooms available to the unhoused.
Well, let's start up on like Martha's Vineyard and see how as long as we can get it going there.
It worked really great last time when we sent a whole bunch of illegals over there.
Oh, didn't you love that?
And they only called in the military.
Yeah, they called in the military. Get these immigrants, these illegals, the hell off our island.
And those are the people that vote for it. For you and I.
I know it. But when Donna and I visited the Soviet Union, in the first, I think, probably the first group of American citizens, ordinary, day-to-day, who moved in with Soviet families to experience their lives as they lived them for a week. And we moved in with the Soviet family, and I'll always remember them. What's his name and his wife, Irene, and Boris. Anyway, not good enough.
Okay.
But anyway, they lived in, I think, about 2 bedrooms that were part of a large mansion from before the Revolution that got chopped into pieces to cram as many families in this building as they possibly could. And this was their home. And this is what Mom Danny? Yeah. What a jerk. Don't you know he's going to be in the middle of the New York Knicks celebrations?
Oh, yeah. I think he's already, he's been a visible part.
He couldn't show any support for Israel, but by God, he's going to be at that Knicks parade, isn't he?
Yes, there's no doubt about it. And Mr., give everything to everybody, got gifted, the best tickets in the house for that, World Cup and everything else. And my thing is, why wouldn't he give that to somebody else? I thought that's the whole point.
There's no point with him.
No, it's right.
It's never been this way. It's why the party lives on high and everybody else is way, way below.
This Kelsey Bond on the in Fulton County, and I'm still not clear. I'm pretty sure she's city. Is she one of those Democratic socialists?
I don't know, but I'll look it up real quick.
They, them pronouns.
Atlanta City Council. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah.
District 2, Midtown, Old Fourth Ward, Virginia Highland, Ponce, Highland. I've found it's Bond.
Cities cannot survive these people.
Yeah, boy, she's something else here.
Oh, you want to know about that executive director of the Atlanta Arts?
Yes, please. I can only imagine.
When the position was available and they were hiring, the job profile read it was between $142,000 and $173,000 in order for you to do that job for the city of Atlanta.
Yeah. She's definitely a Democrat. I don't see Democrat Socialist just on her page, but I've not had a chance to read it all.
Yeah.
But she's definitely a Democrat.
Can I make you two mad now?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And your listeners?
Yes, sir.
Someday you're gonna send me how to get access to my email if it still exists over there, so I could read all the nasty things people said.
They just call us, or they email us at tell Bortz this. I'm like, I'm not the receptionist.
Yeah. This whole deal with Trump and Iran is a steaming pile of yak squeeze.
I'm so glad you brought this up, and here's the reason why, Neil. Just a week ago, you were like, there will not be a deal. There will never be a deal. This is not going anywhere. All right, you're going to have to reverse course and say...
No, there's no deal.
Hold on. You said last week there would be no deal. Now there is apparently something that's going to be signed, which, by the way, no one has seen. So to say with any definitive ability that it is yak squeeze, I would say, why don't we give it a week? Maybe we should use the previous week when you said there would be no deal to give it a week to see what is in the deal.
Okay, I'll say this. You're going to wish there wasn't a deal when you find out what's in it.
Okay, and for what reason?
Look, it's going to put everybody back where they started, with one exception, and that is Iran is going to come out of this with a weakened and decimated military and minus a few weird beards.
You got rid of a few of those. Yeah. We'll see. I guess we'll see on Friday, and then we'll be able to discuss it on Tuesday.
But Oman and Iran will have legitimized their claim of control over the Straits of Hormuz. And it will not be open as it was before. They will be charging administrative fees or whatever they want to call it over ships that transmit or transit that thing. Yeah. It's going to be right back. Oh, and then Iran is going to get billions of dollars in cash.
The one thing I do know is we cannot trust Iran. That I know.
Then there's no deal.
That I do not believe we can trust Iran. I don't believe, even if there's a deal in place, I don't know that Iran lives up to any parts of their side of the deal. That's so. If that's your argument, then I can see that, because I don't trust Iran either. I do think the United States is working in good faith to try to make it work.
Well, they aren't. There is a word in Islam and in Islam governance, and I can't remember it and don't care to remember it. I just know it's there. It is perfectly okay under the rules and regulations set down by the desert rat child molester, Muhammad. There are rules and regulations. It is okay to lie and deceive your enemies or infidels or people of the book if you're doing it to achieve legitimate Islamic goals. So in the eyes and ears of the negotiators for Iran, they will lie, they will deceive, They will obfuscate. They can do anything they want as long as it is in the cause of getting the advantage over the great Satan in any kind of a deal after this. They cannot be trusted. They have made it clear, hey, we can't be trusted. We can lie to you. We can engage in any degree of deceit we wish to in order to get you to back down and leave us alone. And that's what they're doing. And the only, we can't have boots on the ground. Look, Iran is posing a threat to so many institutions and people around the world. If it takes boots on the ground to get rid of that regime, maybe that's where it was going to have to go. They'll never give up those. They're going to spend 6 months now getting a hold of that enriched uranium and do the same thing with it that Saddam Hussein did with his weapons of mass destruction. Let's get this stuff. Let's put it somewhere where they won't know, they won't find it, and then we can make a claim that we've destroyed it.
By the way, the word... It starts with a T, and I'm not even going to try it.
Taqiyya, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and that is true, Neil. There's no doubt in it, no doubt about that, and you see it all over the world.
And then
Taqiyya is what I see.
Tell me, Donald Trump, how do you make a deal with people who brag about their doctrine of lying and deceiving you in order to achieve their goals?
How
do you do that?
I don't know the answer, but I know that the United States is working in good faith, and the Iranians are untrustworthy. So I don't know how this all shakes out.
No, don't get me wrong. I hope it does. I mean, I hope that we get some real benefit other than destroying, for the time being, Iran's military posture, capabilities. I hope something comes out of it. I hope that Tehran becomes another, Dubai or something with ski resorts and all this kind of nonsense. But there is absolutely nothing positive about the cult of Islam, and it is going to remain a worldwide threat. They finally realized that in Europe, didn't they?
They did. So did the UAE.
Yeah.
The UAE foreign minister said more terrorists will come out of the United States and Europe because of not understanding the danger of Islam.
I don't think this is overly complicated when it comes to the Iranians. You basically let them know that you're going to have a new neighbor. It's called an Ohio-class submarine, and they'll be parked off your coast.
Yeah, that's right.
It drinks a lot.
So if you want to get cute, you already know we'll hit you. We'll hit you again.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the leaders in Poland that was talking recently. I probably got the country wrong, but they were asking him about immigration and Muslims in Poland. He said, we don't have any. Not only do we not have any, but we're not going to have any. They will not be admitted into this nation. We are a sovereign nation. We can make these decisions. We don't want Muslims, and they're not coming here. Now, you guys can fact check that. I think it was Poland, pretty sure, but it's too bad more European nations didn't have that attitude. And if they had, the number one baby name in London wouldn't be Mohammed.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Europe has gone the exact opposite direction, to your point. But got to leave it there, Neil. We will talk about it. We'll rendezvous next Tuesday and have a discussion about it.
And where will I be? I'll still be right here.
There you go.
And I'm going to work on my list of people we want to send on bungee jumping trips to Brazil.
All right.
Or give them surplus parachutes.
That's right.
We'll see how it turns out.
Both seems like they would be pretty bad. Thank you, Neil. We love you, man.
Double-ply toilet paper.
That's right. Hope you have a great day, bud.
Oh, it can't help but be a great day.
In the Rocky Mountains.
I'm going to go up on the mountain and ride these toboggan sleds down the mountain.
Boy, your adventurousness has returned quite quickly.
I won't be all that fast, I promise you.
All right, then. Neil Bortz, Talkmaster on Extra 106.3. 6 o'clock hours brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we come back, the peace memo has been signed. We got to figure out what is all in there. We don't know exactly everything yet. It comes out tomorrow. But we're starting to get a little bit of information. We'll talk about it next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, June 18th. The Atlanta Braves dropped both games of record yesterday, losing the Monday game that was delayed, the Tuesday game, that was delayed by weather to the San Francisco Giants 7-2. They followed that up by dropping the evening action 7-5 to the Giants as well. Tonight, the series finale as Landon Rope gets the ball for the Giants. He'll be opposed by Martin Perez. First pitch is set for 7:15. You can hear all the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and for free on the Fan app. From the College World Series, Georgia's season has come to an end. They were beaten last night by Oklahoma 11-4. It'll now be North Carolina and Oklahoma matching up in the series championship. And from the NBA, former Atlanta Hawk Trae Young has declined his $48 million option for next season, making him a free agent. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Summer is here, and hopefully vacation is on the horizon. Whether the beach or maybe you're more of a mountain person, you've planned and saved in order to take some much-needed time off. You planned your vacation. Shouldn't you plan your retirement? You planned for a week in the sun, but have you planned for decades of golden years? Master Plan Retirement works with you to create a holistic, comprehensive retirement plan in order to offer the one thing your time off needs the most: peace of mind. From income and growth, tax strategy, legacy planning, and more, Master Plan Retirement walks alongside you to help ensure your golden years stay golden. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Visit masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
It's still the greatest form of advertising, word of mouth. If we could bottle it and sell it, we'd be rich. But we can't. That's what keeps it honest. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons. From garage doors to entry doors to windows, for every opening of your home, we've got you covered. Talk to your neighbors. Chances are we've worked on their home. They'll tell you all about their 5-star experience with All Four Seasons. When trust matters, trust us. All, the number 4, seasonsgarages.com.
Hey there, this is Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses and events like Cobb County Pro Rodeo.
Hi, I am Seth Bice with Bice Rodeo Productions. We are partnering with Southern Rodeo Company for the 2nd annual Cobb County Pro Rodeo. Join us for an exciting weekend of professional cowboys and cowgirls from across the country and the best bucking horses and bulls from across the nation. We are both proud to be family-owned businesses, sanctioned through the International Professional Rodeo Association, and thrilled to be voted the top 5 new rodeo in North America by the IPRA. We can't wait to see you at Jim Miller Park, July 10th and 11th.
Oh, you know I'll be there. Trust me, friends. You don't want to miss this exciting, family-friendly event. This will be a sellout, so go to rodeoticket.com and get your tickets now. And remember, Our Town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
Hey, it's Front Office Los with Tom, the honest car guy. Let's talk about the new way to buy a car in 2026. Tell me how you can save clients thousands of dollars in this process.
I got a customer here, Jeff Everhart. I met him today first time because I delivered his 25 model Honda Pilot, fully loaded with only 16,000 miles on it. Jeff, answer Los's question about that one.
It was actually shocking. I mean, you hear the advertisements, you want to believe it, and then when you go through with the sale, and there's no extras, there's no dock fees, there's no storage fees, no transportation fees. The price I was given was the price that I paid plus their honest fee. I did save thousands of dollars, and it was a very quick sale.
Well, we appreciate that.
And did it from my living room.
Did it from your living room.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. The legacy of Joe Biden lives. His open border policy let millions of illegal criminals stream into our country. We continue to have customers visit the showroom and report that they have been victims of break-ins and lost their hard-earned and irreplaceable items. So don't be a victim. Drive by the Safe House showroom and see what real security looks like. Picture yourself placing your valuables in a Fort Knox safe. Now that's real protection for your priceless valuables. Drop by the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
When it comes to luxury, performance, and cutting-edge technology, few brands do it better than Cadillac.
And there's no better place to experience Cadillac than Jim Ellis Cadillac, where buying a luxury vehicle is just as refined as the vehicle itself.
From the bold Escalade to the sleek XT5, the powerful CT5, and the electrifying new Lyric, you'll find an impressive selection ready to go.
That means more choices, more availability, and competitive pricing, all with the transparent, no-pressure approach Jim Ellis is known for.
And with the Jim Ellis Expressway, you can start your purchase online. Value your trade, schedule a test drive, even complete paperwork from home.
It's luxury car buying made simple and convenient on your terms. Or shop in person and enjoy a professional, welcoming dealership experience that puts you first.
To get started, visit JimEllisCadillac.com or stop by the Jim Ellis Cadillac dealership on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter.
Jim Ellis Cadillac, where you can always expect the best.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, Extra 106.3 FM.
They signed it separately and digitally. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And Iran's president just posted on X after agreeing to end the conflict with the U.S. Peace will be realized in the shadow of mutual respect, though President Trump says
it's a memorandum of understanding. If it doesn't get done in 60 days, that's all right. We go back to bombing. I don't want to do that because it's so good. But we might have to.
The president signed it at the end of the G7 summit in France, saying he wanted to avoid an economic catastrophe, opening the Strait of Hormuz to oil and other shipping and lifting the U.S. blockade of Iran's ports. But as Fox's Trey Yingst reports, talks continue.
It is opening up these more detailed negotiations as it relates to Iran's nuclear program. And U.S. officials have indicated that the missile program and the support of regional proxies is something that will be discussed during this time as well. Certainly, there are Gulf countries that are concerned also because they saw the incoming Iranian fire during Operation Epic Fury. But again, this is a ceasefire extension. This is not the broad peace deal that the United States is looking for with Iran.
Iran also gets sanctions relief and access to unfrozen assets and a reconstruction fund. Some Republicans in Congress are critical. Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer posted on X, we're worse off than before the war started. Oil prices are falling more than 1%. Gas is down again. AAA's national average for regular now $3.99 a gallon. That is 57 cents less than the peak of the price surge last month. Still about $1 more than before the Iran conflict started. There's a NATO meeting in Brussels. War Secretary Pete Hegseth is there.
It needs to go back to a real hardline military alliance.
Referred to by Secretary Hegseth as NATO 3.0, capable of deterring any threat. He's promising to be candid about what the United States expects allies to do to make that happen. The Trump administration wants to be less involved in defending Europe. Last year, at a summit of NATO leaders, most members promised to spend more on defense.
That's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it.
Want weather? Grab your phone. Need traffic? Grab your phone. Conservative news and talk. Also on your phone. Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Come on. Morning, y'all. Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. It is Thursday. Thank God it's Thursday. I've shifted to thank God here because Friday's just over the hill. And Thursday's a wonderful day. It's maybe my favorite day of the week. Because Friday's basically Saturday. I mean, you already celebrate, right? In Thursday, you get that vibe of the weekend is just over the horizon.
In my top 7 for sure.
Top 7 of days. I love that. For Bryce, favorite
days ending in Y. One of my favorites.
That's right. Easy to choose because they all do. But yeah, who doesn't love a good Thursday? And front office Los getting ready to jump on an airplane and head to watch his daughters play volleyball. If you've ever been part of travel sports, you know how much fun he is about to have. I am envious because I don't get to see that anymore. I don't get to be a part of that.
Well, you're welcome to come along and cheer for the Bananas.
That's right. Is that their name?
So the younger teams always have like a name, and they decided that they were going to be the Bananas this year.
Is it after the Savannah Bananas?
No, just because they wanted to be the Bananas. Okay. And so yesterday's practice was all of them dressed up as bananas.
I love that. See, fun times, and then playing loose. That's so important when you go and play at a high level tournament.
We
like
have a giant 4-foot banana that one of the poor parents has to travel with.
Oh my Lord!
Bring it to the airport and everything else. Yeah,
I'm willing to do most everything. I would never be willing to do that. I'm not going to be the guy that carries the
banana character around.
Yeah, it's not that I care. It's not that I care necessarily. It's just the hassle. I mean, is it like one that you stand up? Is it like a...
Yeah, you can stand it up, but it's just... Can you imagine the pain? Because it will go from one court to the next, and somebody has to bring the banana.
Won't do it. I won't be the guy that does that. I'll buy lunch. I will... but I'm going to support. I'll cheer loud. I'll play the music. Whatever you need me to do. I'm not carrying the big banana. I'm not going to be the one that transports that. That's just a bridge too far for me. I'm not willing to do that, but I know you're going to have fun. It's going to be
should be a good time. Yeah.
Yes, it should be. And then we saw University of Georgia their run come to an end last night in Omaha. The bats just did not show up once they got out to Omaha. It just never worked out. They didn't play the same that they had played all season and through the regional and super regional. Look, I'm not super upset about it. I know some people are kicking rocks and darn and shucks and all that sort of stuff. I'm just glad that they made it to the Final Four. That's awesome. There's only going to be one team that's not disappointed at the end. And that is, and now we know it'll either be North Carolina or Oklahoma. One of the two.
Yeah.
And I tend to cheer for Oklahoma just because of the other branch kid that's on that Oklahoma squad, and his parents are out there wearing, double jerseys that's sewn together. Half was Oklahoma, half was Georgia because they got two sons playing ball. You saw Kobe Branch hit a bomb in that game. And though it was, not the way they wanted it to turn out, it was cool to see him and his brother high-fiving each other as he went around the bases. And then at the end of the game, coming together and big hugs all around. I just love the fact that they went on that run, and it's been a fun season, man. I've been entertained.
That's what it is. It's the run. And as much as you want to talk about, am I going to get a national championship this year, and whether this is football or baseball or basketball, there's a reason why, when everyone brings this up. Typically, there's only one team that wins their final game.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all.
That's all.
And it's usually not your team.
Yeah.
I mean,
most every time, it's not.
Yeah.
So maybe call this maturity or whatever you want to.
Maybe so.
Whatever you want to throw. I enjoy the ride.
Me too.
I got to watch my NBA team go to a finals. Did I get my result? No. But it was a great ride.
Absolutely. The season was fun.
It was cool.
Being in the playoffs is fun. It's just it's a different feeling, and I love it. And congratulations to Georgia. And look, I would even say congratulations to Georgia Tech after a great season. Reload, come back next year and play good ball again. And I hope to get another ride just like this one. Do I hope it ends in a national championship? Sure. But if it doesn't, it's going to be fun. It is going to be a fun ride nonetheless. Atlanta Braves on a bit of a skid yesterday, losing both games. Almost the same scores, was it? Or at least
7-2 and 7-5.
Yeah, very, very close. In the game two, it looked like they might have a little bit of a comeback. And then I think they had runners on first and second with Austin Riley at the plate. The last
Matt
thing
Olson
I remember.
played right field.
And Matt Olson playing right field because they ran out of utility players.
Yeah, what a weird scenario.
I guess he's done that before, though. It went back to
2018.
2018 when he did that. So it was weird. It was odd. We had a little bit of a chuckle. There was a play that went out, and it was splitting between right, pretty much right center. And you wondered if Matt was going to call off the center fielder. Of course, he did not. He did not. And center fielder made the catch and came on in And but it was just funny to see him jog off the field from right field. It looks so awkward, like a baby giraffe running.
I've seen Chipper Jones play left field.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Everything's on the table.
That's right.
You never
Absolutely.
know. Everything's on the table.
Yeah, but hopefully the Braves will get their act together and get off this little skid and turn things around. I know we got some injuries and dealing with some of that stuff, but we've been dealing with that all year. So can they do it? Absolutely. When will they do it? Hopefully sooner rather than later. Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. We have a piece memo. We're going to get into it now in the first thing to know.
I love winning.
Me too.
You want to talk about this thing being distorted over the last several days. So we finally were able to get to the what was it, the MOU?
Yeah.
Is that what we're...
Yeah, it's the MOU, Memo of Understanding, I believe.
Memo of Understanding that has been signed by both sides, the Iranians as well as Donald Trump. And when you start going through this, this is not complicated to me. I think that largely the news media, the left, wants to make it complicated. The online influencers that are trying to spin it a certain way because they're paid to do so by the DNC, they're trying to do this. This really is a matter of trying to bring Iran economically into the fold with the rest of the Middle East while also telling them there will be no nuclear weapon.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward.
It's easy to understand, and Donald Trump.
We're giving them $300 billion.
No.
No. There are
US
loans available based on conditions, which again, according to this, is based on here's what the areas you're going to have to hit. This is what you're going to have to do, and then economically, you will get to join the rest of the Middle East. That's what it comes down to.
It looks like. Almost like meritocracy a little bit. If you complete the mission, if you complete the task in front of you, you're rewarded for that. And if you don't, you are not. I mean, I don't know how much more straightforward you can be than that. And look, I think the people that were complaining that, hey, we're not focused enough on domestic issues, we're not focused on the midterms enough, they should be screaming and celebrating the loudest lows, because that is what is going to happen, right? We're going to eventually pivot away from this, and in short form, you're going to have Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, you're going to have all these people focused on this inside the administration, and Donald Trump is going to turn his focus to domestic policy, which is what those people have been saying since March, since this started. Good, you're getting exactly what you want. It seems like everybody's getting exactly what they want.
Well, and that to me is the other piece of comedy here. For those people that have been able to say, and again, it's partisan, well, Donald Trump, because of what's going on in Iran, can't focus on what's happening at home.
That's right.
Okay, well, here's now the situation, and their immediate response is, well, this deal has to be terrible.
That's right. It has to be. Must be terrible. It's got to be awful.
And largely, this deal is a 60-day, you show us you can do this, and we'll move on to the next part.
Yeah, and if we don't, we won't be moving on. And Donald Trump said, we'll start dropping bombs again. Not what we want to do. Not what we've ever wanted to do. We just want to make sure that you don't have a nuclear enrichment program for weapons grade uranium.
And here's the other silly part, too. When you start looking at this deal and you start hearing the criticisms of it, understand that what we have here is a piece of paper that says that money that you have in foreign bank accounts, we'll unfreeze it.
Yeah.
We're not giving them anything.
Yeah. It's theirs. It's already theirs. That's right. And J.D. Vance, he said it in multiple settings, including on the 5. He said, because Jessica Tarlov over there was saying, we're sending American dollars. He says, no, not one American penny under Trump's deal. The Obama deal, which they keep trying to compare it to when they were sending pallets of cash. We all looked at those pallets of cash and could not believe what we were seeing. That is not what's happening in this deal. Not one single penny. This is the quote of American money under any circumstances, no matter what the Iranians do, goes to Iran. Not 1 cent of American money.
It's the 11th portion of this deal that points out the U.S. will make frozen or restricted Iranian funds and assets fully available for their use. We're letting them have their money back. It's their money.
Yeah, that's right.
As part of this, is that the part that makes people upset? I'm like, it's not one of your tax dollars. It's not one of your own pennies, but that is the distortion that the left continues to go to. And and this is the other part, it's free to read. And yet the Aunt Pegs of the world continue to bark out the distortion. Is it out of ignorance, or is it just out of I'm going to go with the propaganda so I feel better about saying the same things that Rachel Maddow was saying?
Unsure. President
because it's
Trump,
right there in front of you.
It is. And Trump's deal, this is going to be formalized by the UN Security Council resolution with removing the uranium enrichment. So he's getting done what nobody else could. And look, will the Iranians follow through with everything? There's no way for us to know that. Probably not. We cannot trust Iran. I do not believe. But we are trying to do something in good faith. And Kevin's on the phone at 404-741-1230. Kevin, what is on your mind, pal?
Good morning, gentlemen. The reason the Democrats and the far left cannot accept anything that Trump and this Republican regime is currently doing and getting completed is for the simple one fact. They never made the effort and tried to do any of this, whether it was during Joe Biden's term, whether it was during Obama's term, or any other time that the Democrats had control. It's the party of we will promise, but they never do. Whereas Trump and the Republicans in his 2 terms in office has made a statement what they're going to do, and they fulfill it. And it aggravates the Democrats to death, the fact that somebody actually getting something accomplished with all the rhetoric that they want to throw. And so what it does, it makes them look bad. So now they look for every little excuse to find something to try to point out. And each time they do it, they're like going, oh, no, Trump did that. No, he did that. And they're down to their last bottom of the barrel of excuses of why they couldn't get stuff done.
I love it, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, but he's got such a great point. He's like, they're going to nitpick and nitpick. The deal is, I mean, even with the UN Security Council thing, I mean, the other countries that are involved that weren't involved to begin with, that are going to press the Iranians, you've got to open up. You've got to let inspectors in. Now, will the Iranians fight it? Probably. Will they stick with it for a while and go away from it? Seems like it's a possibility. But now you have the entire UN behind you. Everybody that loves the UN on the left that tells me the UN is so important. Look, I would like to get out of the UN to begin with. But all of these countries are now putting Iran under their thumb saying you have to do this.
I want to take you back over to the Obama years when you had the scenario over in, I believe it was in Africa, where a bunch of girls were abducted from their school, and it was a militant rebel group that did it. Do you remember what the Obama administration response to this was?
Oh, it was a social media campaign, wasn't it?
It's a hashtag.
Yeah. Free our girls. Is that right?
Bring back our girls. Free our girls. Yeah. All right. The left is about the showcase, not about the results. It's always been about judge me on what I intend, rather than the actual results.
Which, that's exactly what Kevin was bringing up.
And that's exactly the way it has always been played. And so to see somebody actually get stuff done, that is where the left is looking around going, hold on a second. There's actually a real deal, and we're going to get their uranium?
Yeah, that's right. Isn't wasn't that the intent? Wasn't that the goal? Was that what we've been trying to do from the get-go?
Wasn't that been the discussion for the better part of 20 years?
Yes, it is. It is, and will continue to be. And look, I love the fact that Kevin has pointed it out. I love the fact that our listeners kind of understand what's going on, maybe at a different level than anybody else, because the mainstream media, they're going to try to convolute this. They're going to try to water it down. They're going to try to nitpick it apart, as Kevin was saying. And I know you know better. But I even had listeners last night reaching out to me on social media and asked for this explanation. And it's the same explanation that I gave them that we're talking about this morning, that no American dollars, because I think that's maybe the one thing that stands out the most. People believe that the United States...
being distorted the most.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. People genuinely believe that we're going to cut checks and send pallets of cash like Obama did. That is not happening. That's not what it is. So when you hear it, you can dismiss it. And Sweet Sherry last night, who reached out to me on Instagram, thank you, Miss Sherry, I told her that exact same thing. And then at the time, we didn't even have the text of everything. And now at least we're getting, since it's been signed, we're starting to get some of that and can defend. Or not even, I don't even know that we need to defend. Explain. That's a better word. Explain better what's happening, because the mainstream media will not.
When you get to read through the text, and again, it's there for everybody. So the next person who ends up doing we're giving them $300 billion. It's like, it's a loan, and it's not our money.
That's right.
It's your regional partners.
That's right. Absolutely.
And you have to pay this back. The only money that they're getting is their own money.
And here's another thing, too. With the Arab countries, those Gulf states that realize, hey, we probably can't trust Iran, I bet you're going to start seeing them build oil pipelines that will eventually and potentially go through Israel out to the Mediterranean. If that's the case, that opens the door for more of those Gulf countries to join the Abraham Accords. That would be monumental. That would be world-changing, and that's something that's not being discussed either.
The hope is that you've done enough damage to them in terms of getting rid of the head of the snake, followed by the head of the snake, followed by the head of the snake.
Yeah, for sure.
You've killed enough that now you're actually, and Donald Trump has brought this up, President Trump has said that these people are more rational than the ones we were dealing with before, which I find very hilarious. But to think that maybe economically, because that's always going to be the key, if you're going to have them join the rest of the Middle East and create stability, what do I always point out? Business is great for stability.
Yeah, just
Conflict
look at those
is not good for business.
Yeah, look at those Gulf states and their the changes that have happened in Riyadh and UAE and all those places.
Look how they've developed.
That's exactly right. And they kind of like it. And I understand. So do I. Morning Xtra on Xtra 1063. When we come back, Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor Greg Dolezal joins the show. Coming on right after he is the Republican nominee after the runoff election. Great to have him next on Xtra.
Get the latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South when you follow Xtra 1063 across all your social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Xtra 1063.
Hey, it's Tug. Chuck and his team over Central Heating and Air Conditioning are bringing back something I love. Their 6th annual Christmas in July, benefiting Skyland Trail here in Atlanta. They do incredible work helping people facing mental health challenges get real, lasting help. And Central is proud to give back to a community that they've been serving since 1947. The part I like, it helps you too. Helps me as well, because I have a maintenance agreement with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, and I encourage you to get one too. If you get one today, they'll donate $10 from each agreement that people sign up for, that you sign up for, that friends sign up for. $10 goes directly to Skyland Trail. I think we delivered like a $10,000 check last year. And then by doing that, by signing up, you're getting that priority service. You get seasonal tune-ups that prevent breakdowns, better efficiency, and that Georgia heat, Lord, it's starting to creep up. I bet you've noticed too. That way your home stays nice and cool. You're outside, crazy hot, inside, nice and comfortable. Central Heating and Air Conditioning services all makes and models. And with them, you're never a number. You are a member of the family. I know that. I've seen it in action. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com to sign up today. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, delivering carrier comfort for the world we share.
Hello, folks. This is your captain speaking. As we prepare to take off, I'd like you to draw your attention to the dimmed lights, lit candles, and soothing sounds of smooth jazz. We'll be making love shortly and taking off in just a moment. Please fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride. And this is your captain speaking again. As you can see, we're experiencing engine failure. Looks like we're not going to get this bird off the ground tonight.
Sound like your sex life? Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? If you're struggling with ED, we understand the feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there is help. You need Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They specialize in treatments like the P-Shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimix. Schedule your appointment today. Call 404-777-1911 and learn more online at tbtofga.com.
Calling all contractors. Stovall & Company Wholesale Landscape Supply is here for you.
We've been family owned and operated for more than 75 years, and we just opened our 11th location in Canton, Georgia.
We are proud to provide all your wholesale irrigation, nursery, and landscape supply needs.
We are partnered with Keystone Hardscape to offer a wide variety of products to enhance any outdoor living space.
Here at Stovall, we have it all. Check us out at stovallinc.com or visit any of our convenient locations throughout North Georgia.
I'm Patrick Brown, former Army Ranger in the United States Army. Like many service members, I had to make difficult choices when leaving the military, and the most challenging thing was finding purpose in a new phase of life. Housing, employment, education, way too many decisions and no idea where to start. That was until I met the Warrior Alliance. They made it simple. They listened and quickly connected me to the services I needed. And like a trusted friend, they even followed up to make sure I was squared away. Change a veteran's life today by donating at thewarrioralliance.org. Helping warriors navigate to success after service.
If you want a smart new Toyota with a payment that makes sense, it's time for you to take a look at the 2026 Toyota Corolla. Reliable, efficient, and built for long-term value. It's a great fit for daily driving, commuting, and keeping ownership simple. At Marietta Toyota, every new Toyota includes our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's unlimited time and unlimited mileage for as long as you own it. And we're voted Best of Comp for 2026, Best New Car Dealership, and Best Service Center. It's the thing that Jared and his people pride themselves on, giving you the best deal and the best service. For well-qualified buyers, 6.49% APR for 72 months is available on the new 2026 Corolla through June 30th. Visit us on Cobb Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium. Marietta Toyota, since 1975. We've been here and will be here for you.
6.49% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers are qualified. End 6/30/2026. See dealer for details. All prices exclude tax, tag, title, and include $699 dock fee and $257 electronic tag fee.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Thursday, June 18th, and here are your headlines. President Trump returned after the G7 summit in France, where the U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding was signed and ending months of fighting. The agreement calls for an immediate ceasefire, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, limits on Iran's enriched uranium stockpile, and a 60-day period to negotiate a broader nuclear deal. Redistricting will not be considered during Georgia's special legislative session this week. House Speaker John Burns and Republican leaders informed Governor Brian Kemp that lawmakers will instead focus on property tax issues and election-related legislation, including changes to ballot counting procedures after the state eliminated QR code voting systems. And finally, the first named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, Tropical Storm Arthur, is expected to bring heavy rain, gusty winds, and a threat of flash flooding to Georgia tonight, as forecasters say Metro Atlanta could see 1 to 3 inches of rain and wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. A flood watch is in effect through Saturday morning, and officials are warning residents to prepare for possible downed trees and power outages. Today's weather will feature that heavy rain with an afternoon high of 83 and a low of 70. Your Extra 106.3 headlines. I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10. Want to send congratulations out to Greg Dolezal, who joins us here on the Morning Extra. He is the Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor. Greg, good morning. How are you, man? Congratulations.
Fellas, thank you so much. I got to come on the show for a win. It's a tradition now. Thank y'all for having me on.
I love being able to do it. Tell us about, we're getting the results in. I know I got a chance to touch base with your camp, but as we got into a little bit of those later hours, I imagine it had to be a little bit of a sigh of relief and then helmet right back on the next day.
Yeah, it's wild, man. You walk into these things, and I've told you guys this. I'm an introvert, so you walk into this, quote, watch party, and it's like, am I going to win or am I going to lose? And if I lose, I do not want to be around anybody. And if I win, obviously want to be able to celebrate with friends. So it's a weird thing, man. I mean, I walked in, to our event. My son, who's 12 years old, had his computer fired up. He was already tracking, and we were ahead. And we knew really early. I think we probably knew, honestly, by about 8:15 that we were in really, really good shape. And so we were encouraged. About 9:30, decision desk called it. We went down, thanked our supporters, prayed with our team. Well, the first thing I did actually was pray with my family. And then John Kennedy called. He and I had a great conversation. John is a class act and a friend, and committed to helping us get the party across the finish line in November, and I was grateful for that. And then we were able to walk around and thank everybody some more.
Gosh, man, I love it. Lieutenant Governor he's going to be your next Lieutenant Governor here in the state of Georgia. Greg Dolezal on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. There's so many reasons that I believe that you won the race and that you'll go on to be Lieutenant Governor. Just your ability to attack the things that need to be discussed without fear. Certainly that's it. I believe your mastery of media, whether coming on this show or using AI to create ads that go right along with the messaging and the issues that you're talking about. I think those are what delivered you that victory. Do you see it that way?
I do. In a broader sense, Tug, I think it's the ability to talk about the issues that people are talking about in a way that you talk about it sitting at a bar or sitting at a kitchen table or wherever you'd be having a conversation. We're just normal Georgians. I think that far too often those of us that get in this political game get caught up in political speak. We don't know how to just be normal. And meanwhile, you got a whole generation of people that can't afford to buy a home. You've got a generation of senior citizens who are getting crushed by property taxes. And then everyone in the middle feels like the American dream is on life support. And meanwhile, politicians are talking about who knows what. And so we cut through that. But yeah, man, we had fun with the AI videos, and honestly, we were a little ginger with them because I'm running against my friends. But now that this is kind of the main event, you can look for us to ramp up the creativity in this campaign.
Greg Dolezal is our guest. He's going to be running for lieutenant governor and is the Republican representative after getting the win. Let's talk about that because now it now turns into you're going to face a Democrat, actually, rather than somebody that you've had experience with in terms of from your own party. Are you now having to look at it and basically say, hey, my political instincts to this point have gotten me this far. Let me trust on those as we run through November?
Yes, I told Natalie, my wife, this morning, I said, babe, we took a huge bet on ourselves. Nobody believed in this, that we could get this far. And God was faithful, and we did get this far. But yes, I do think that the connection that we have with the people is real. I think that we've built a real base. I think we build on that. Guys, Josh McLaurin, who I'm running against, I'll see him today. I'll shake his hand. He's a friend of mine. He is a Yale law graduate. He is very intelligent, but he is very far left. But he's going to be a formidable opponent. He's talented, and I'll tell you the crazy story about him that most people don't know. Do you guys remember when J.D. Vance's texts about President Trump from when he was in law school got leaked?
Yes.
And they were leaked by his law school roommate, who was Josh McLaurin.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And so there's like this crazy Georgia connection to the J.D. Vance text leaking story. And it's a guy who's currently in the Georgia State Senate named Josh McLaurin, who went to Yale Law School and was roommates with J.D. And it's wild. So I joke with Josh that I'll talk to him about anything in person, but I'm careful about what I text him because you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, and Rick Jackson obviously is going to be our nominee at the top of the ticket for governor. I'm really gutted for my friend Burt Jones. I thought he ran a phenomenal campaign. I want to be there at the Capitol when he gets there because we've got a special session that starts today. And I just want to be able to look him in the eye and tell him he ran a great race. But Rick is going to be the standard bearer for the top of the ticket on the statewide stuff. And he's going against a failed mayor, probably the worst mayor in the history of Atlanta, who would be a very, very ineffective and inept governor. City Hall was a mess when Keisha was mayor, and we do not need the state to be a mess with her as our governor.
Do you think I'm underestimating, or maybe we or listeners, whomever, are underestimating what Keisha is capable of in a campaign?
Yes. Because Keisha is a lot more warm and affable than Stacey Abrams was. Stacey had a hard time connecting with people. Keisha, she just has a much greater natural ability to connect with people. And you got to remember, Governor Kemp barely eked out a win over Stacey Abrams back in 2018. And so we're kind of returning to that starting point again of trying to figure out what the natural Republican-Democrat split is in Georgia 8 years later. We don't know what that is. Because you can't look at the Trump election in 24 for that either, because Trump he's a juggernaut. He's a force of his own, pulls a lot of voters over to the Republican side that may not vote for Republican if Trump is not on the ballot. And frankly, Trump has the ability to rally a base of blue-collar Republicans out that may be otherwise tempted to sit it out. So this is going to be all hands on deck. But, yes, I would not underestimate Keisha. We all know how horrible she was. But you got to remember, guys, she's going to have a complicit media who is not going to report on, her sitting back and watching the city burn down, her putting the no-chase order on police, her allowing the autonomous zone to get set up at the Wendy's after the Rayshard Brooks shooting, which ultimately led to the murder of an 8-year-old girl, Secoria Turner. The media is not going to talk about any of that. And so we're going to have to tell that story. And you guys, I know, are going to be a big part in helping us do that as well.
Greg Dolezal is our guest. I want to talk about your upcoming opponent because one of the primary things that he pushes on his website is the repeal of the heartbeat ban, the heartbeat bill, that he wants to do away with that in the idea of reproductive rights. And I think when you get into these areas, Greg, and you start talking about the history of even Roe versus Wade, there was a decided notion from the Supreme Court that both the state and the mother had an interest in the child. It wasn't until we got to Planned Parenthood in the 90s where that completely went out the window. I think that's just one of those things that when you explain that to people, that makes your opponent very far left to basically wanting to go back to the standard of Planned Parenthood from the 90s.
Yeah, so what I don't know how Josh would answer the question of what would you support in terms of abortion restriction? Because if you're a Josh McLaurin and you don't want to go with the heartbeat bill, you've got to draw the line somewhere else. Do you draw it at 12 weeks? Do you draw it at 20 weeks? My guess would be that he's not willing to answer that question, which would place him amongst the most radical Democrats who would say that they believe in late-term abortion. And so merely repealing the heartbeat bill, while that's a talking point on the website, I want to know what his stance is on that issue. I don't, frankly, know what it is. But I do know that when I carried the Riley-Gaines Act through the state Senate 2 years ago, it was actually last year, I'm losing track of time. When I wrote the Riley-Gaines Act, Josh was an outspoken opponent against preventing male participation in female sport. And he voted against that bill. And so he voted against the bill to ban taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries for prison inmates. I've talked about this on your guys' show. And you got to say it slow because it sounds so crazy. It's taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries for prison inmates. And we tried to say that we weren't going to spend taxpayer dollars on that, and Josh voted against us. So Josh has taken some very radical positions. We'll highlight those. But, Los, you stumbled on one of those, I'm sure, is among the more radical, which is his position on life.
And then the endorsements that he got from Stacey Abrams that you brought up, someone that is not very popular in the state of Georgia among most people.
Where's the money, Stacey?
Yeah, where's all the money at? We would like to know where that $2 billion is. And then Raphael Warnock, a guy that, man, I've never seen a reverend, and I want to speak in turn here, but I've never seen a reverend talk the way that man talks.
Yeah, I mean, Senator Warnock, another Democrat pastor who is pro-abortion, and but the best thing that I love about Senator Warnock is that he has allowed, under his watch, someone to be registered to vote illegally using his church address, which is an illegal place to register to vote. And that person is still on the Fulton County voter rolls. But another guy who voted against keeping men out of women's sports. You've got to go back to what these guys really believe. They want to defund the police. They do not believe in free market capitalism. They want to have a centralized control mechanism of the means of production. And so much of my campaign has been about the founding principles of this country, because I believe that they are the soil in which the seeds were planted that has given rise to the greatest period of human flourishing in the history of mankind. And that is not a coincidence. And those guys just don't fundamentally believe that, and that will be the divide in this race.
Greg Dolezal is our guest running on the Republican side for lieutenant governor. He will face off with his opponent as we get into November. Let me bring this up because we are having a special session. It almost seems like it's kind of gotten forgotten because of how big the election was. What are you looking to see that's going to happen at the state capitol? What direction is this going? Because this is one of those that even MS now, as you sit in traffic, has been focused on the Georgia special session and what's going to go on.
There's really two things that I know for sure that are on the docket of things we're able to deal with, and one of those is redistricting. So we were forced by Judge Jones back in 2021, I believe, to draw race-based maps. And what that meant is we had to draw congressional districts, state house districts, and state senate districts only based on the race of the people in those districts. The Supreme Court came back and said that's not what we do in America. That is unconstitutional. And so now we, at some point in time, have to redraw our maps. And Governor Kemp called a special session, said we're going to redraw those maps for the 2028 election. And that is what we are able to contemplate today, starting at 1 o'clock this afternoon. The other piece is the election mess that we're in terms of voting equipment. We are required by state law, Senate Bill 189, that passed 2 years ago, to get rid of the QR code-based voting system. And right now there is not a plan as to how we're going to do that, so we have to go in and come up with that plan. We should have done it way sooner. It didn't happen, but ultimately the goal for me is to get to a hand-marked paper ballot, get rid of the Dominion machines, get Georgians voting the same way that 2/3 of Americans vote, which is on a hand-marked paper ballot.
And that's something that Rick Jackson actually brought up on the show a bunch of times.
Talked about the software issues.
Absolutely. And the fact that these voting machines are like DOS-based voting machines. It's absurd. It's crazy. And I know that's a focus of his, and I know it's a focus of yours. And I know it's a focus of the people listening to you right now, Greg. They're concerned about it, too, as they should be.
Yes, there's a lot of questions coming out of 2020 about these machines. The people have spoken very clearly. Frankly, guys, Democrats and Republicans want to go to hand-marked paper ballots. The only question is, what exactly does that look like, and when exactly does that happen? And so that's what we're going to kind of navigate through. I want to do it as soon as possible. I passed a bill earlier this year that I wrote, passed out of the Senate. It did not get out of the House, to do that for the November election. Because, guys, not only is it the fact that the software is antiquated, the software has 9 known vulnerabilities, meaning the Department of Homeland Security at the federal level has identified 9 ways in which a bad actor could hack our equipment. And we have refused to update the software. We're still running the same software we've been running ever since we implemented the machines. No other state in America is running Dominion machines statewide using that version of the software. And so it's frankly absurd that we're in the position that we're in, but hopefully we get it rectified starting today.
Absolutely right. Greg, congratulations again. We look forward to getting you into the studio. And, man, you're not going to have a team pulling for you harder than we will be here on Extra.
You guys have been such great friends. I really enjoyed the time that we had in Alpharetta last week. That was probably one of my favorite campaign events of the whole cycle. Let's do that. Let's do that one again sometime. Let's take it on the road and do it somewhere else next time.
Road trip. Let's go.
Say hey to the family.
Yes, sir. Go get it done, Greg. Thank you.
Thank you, fellas.
Yes, sir.
There he goes. Greg Dolezal.
A+ dude, man. Love that guy. Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. Next, how to save money and not get ripped off. Our friend Tom joins the show on Extra 106.3.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, June 18th. The Atlanta Braves dropped both games of record yesterday, losing the Monday game that was delayed, the Tuesday game, that was delayed by weather to the San Francisco Giants 7-2. They followed that up by dropping the evening action 7-5 to the Giants as well. Tonight, the series finale as Landon Rope gets the ball for the Giants. He'll be opposed by Martin Perez. First pitch is at 7:15. You can hear all the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and for free on the Fan app. From the College World Series, Georgia's season has come to an end. They were beaten last night by Oklahoma 11-4. It'll now be North Carolina and Oklahoma matching up in the series championship. And from the NBA, former Atlanta Hawk Trae Young has declined his $48 million option for next season, making him a free agent. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hey there, this is Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses and events like Cobb County Pro Rodeo.
Hi, I am Seth Bice with Bice Rodeo Productions. We are partnering with Southern Rodeo Company for the second annual Cobb County Pro Rodeo. Join us for an exciting weekend of professional cowboys and cowgirls from across the country and the best bucking horses and bulls from across the nation. We are both proud to be family-owned businesses, sanctioned through the International Professional Rodeo Association, and thrilled to be voted the top 5 new rodeo in North America by the IPRA. We can't wait to see you at Jim Miller Park, July 10th and 11th.
Oh, you know I'll be there. Trust me, friends. You don't want to miss this exciting, family-friendly event. This will be a sellout, so go to rodeoticket.com and get your tickets now. And remember, Our Town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2026 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. More than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4 or the 2026 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right-sized SUV for all the adventures ahead with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
I bet a lot of what people are doing right this minute is the business of the man to my right. Morning Extra and Extra 106.3 Tug and Los until 10, joined by Tom, the honest car guy.
How you doing?
Man,
There he is.
It is always good to catch up with you, man. How's your morning so far?
Oh, it's doing well. It's doing well.
Okay.
I'm feeling
All right.
a little bit better. I was a little weary last night.
Okay, all right. Yeah, just up late. Since you said that, Los, I wanted Tom to explain to us, just give us an idea. A day in the life, a snapshot of the day for the honest car guy. What's that look like?
I don't know you want to hear that story.
All right, well, I take it all back. No,
so I'll tell you, I get up, I get to work about 8:15, 8:30, try to get the day going. But, like last night, for instance, I ended up having 2 customers. One was in New Jersey. I had talked to him at 8:30 and I had another one at 6:30. And people don't understand, they're at work all day and they don't have a day to just go shopping for cars. And so that's why our model fits so perfectly with them, because we sold 2 cars last night and it was in 2 hours. So we help them out. But again, I get home at 9 o'clock and my darling wife is out doing what do you call that, marketplace stuff.
Oh, she bought something on Facebook Marketplace?
Oh, yeah, she does.
Oh,
She loves that thing. So she gets home late and I get there and there's some pecan pie, and I don't eat that, on the counter, and some chips and salsa, and there's these little things that look pretty good, like Reese cups. So I take a bite of one, and it was horrible. And so I
a trap.
Exactly. So I said, well, let me put it back, and I said, no, it'll hurt her feelings if I put it back. So then I said, let me throw it in the garbage. Well, there's no trash can liner in the garbage, so I just ate the whole thing. And then so she gets home about 20 minutes later, and she goes, hey, you want some dinner? And I said, no, I don't think so. And she goes, what's wrong? And I said, well, I ate one of your things, and they really weren't good, honey. Don't give them to anybody. She starts bawling, laughing. I said, what's so funny? She goes, those are dog treats.
Oh no!
So I'm eating dog treats.
Oh, Lord. You've been working a long day and tired.
One sandwich all day long and dog treats. At 1 o'clock, I wake up and I think I had food poisoning. And come to find out, my wife didn't even make them. The neighbor bought them over. They were 2 days old.
Oh.
So that's one of the lives of a car salesman,
That's a bad beat right there. It's Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. 844-SHOW-ME-1. 844-SHOW-ME-1. I think one of the coolest aspects, because Tom, and we've talked about this, about transparency.
Yes.
If you go to honestcarguy.com, the amount of reviews that you've now posted there of just regular customers going through this process, as you've talked about it in the past. Here's what I do. Here's how I can benefit you, and if that's good enough to earn your business, hopefully you'll give me a call.
Yeah, I mean, there's deals. We're not going to earn every deal everywhere we go. I mean, sometimes people just want to go out there and get taken advantage of. I guess they like it.
I can't wait to spend 6 hours at a dealership
and pay more.
But people don't understand. A dealership's it's a tough world out there, and we're not a big dealership. And I mean, we started out with like 3 people, and I got like my son. It's like a family business. My son's there. It is. I mean, my son does the finance. My wife. She don't cook, obviously, but she does the tag and title work. Okay, thank gosh she's not listening.
You be in the dog house with your dog treats.
With my dog treats, right? But she does the tag and title work, and I got a good friend, David, that helps me with the sales. And, we just brought in my other son to help out with the sales because he's been in this business a while. And so it is really a family business to a certain degree. And, and then I just had to hire another lady because we're selling a lot more cars, and we take it from stem to stern. I mean, we do the sale, we do the car washing of it. I'll be out there in my
absolutely out there in the coat.
Yeah, I'll do that in my suit jacket and everything else because after I wash it, I got to bring it back and shake their hand.
But that's how you as a small business. That's how you save people money, right? You're not paying for somebody to do it. We're doing it. Y'all
we take it to service. We take it to the place to get it touched up if it needs it. I mean, we do all the work. If it needs emissions, we take it to go get the emissions done. We don't have, people there to detail out cars and everything of that stature. I mean, we have to do it ourselves to try to help save the money. And when I was in my independent lot, I was selling 30 cars a month when I had over $2 or $3 million in inventory. I've got no inventory, and we're selling more than that now. And I'm like, boy, what? I wish I was smart like this years ago. All the money I could have saved and saved other people money too. It's just a phenomenal thing, but it takes a while, and we're growing exponentially, and it's great, and we're looking at getting into other areas. So we're really excited about this.
This is Tom Mitchell, Honest Car Guy, honestcarguy.com, 844-SHOW-ME-1. Let's talk about the difference in that, because Tom, I think here's an overlooked aspect when you go with your service, or if you go to a traditional dealership.
Yeah,
that dealership has to have so much inventory every single month, and what they're spending, and what that comes down, and how many cars they have to move in order to be profitable. Whereas when you're not dealing with inventory, well, you've got some flexibility.
Let me tell you a quick thing. So I was involved in a Chevy store in Commerce, and that store, when I woke up on the first of every month, I was $325,000 in the hole.
Oh Lord,
$325,000, and I had a line of credit for like $13 million that I had to use to have new car inventory and used car inventory there. So when you talk about nerves, you got to sit there and start day one at zero.
And trying to make money as much as you can.
You got to make as much money as you can because you don't know what the next day holds. So you want to sit there and try to make as much profitability as you can, and you want to get to that. You want to get to that 325 mark right away, so that then the rest of it, is profitabilities. And everybody's in it for profit. I mean, we do make a profit. Just
well, yeah, you're in business for that.
But we tell you what our profit is.
Right, that's the difference, Tom.
That's the huge difference.
Yeah, they physically show you the bill of sale, the Honest Car Guy fee. I mean, you know it better than anybody talking about it so long, Los.
Yeah, and that's what I say is a huge difference. When you go over to a traditional dealership and whatever they start the month out at, that's where you don't exactly know what you're getting as far as when you ask them like, hey, can I see this information? Not oftentimes you're going to get it. Whereas Tom is flat out like, here's what we paid for the car.
Yeah.
Here's what you owe. Here's what it is.
No doc fees, no addendums, nothing. We had a lady in here just the other day real quickly, and a very smart lady, and her husband says, honey, you've been to 4 dealerships. Can you try the Honest Car Guy? Lo and behold, she gives us a call, but she is so analytical and so very smart, and she called us up. We found a car for her, but she says, I'm not making a decision yet. She drove over to us. She wanted to make sure that we were legit.
Over to the office?
Yeah, she came to the office and wanted to sit down with us and then go over the numbers again to make sure she understood them. And this is a car for her daughter. It wasn't even for her. But, she was doing all this work for her daughter, and she spent 4.5 days at dealerships, and she didn't spend, but maybe she spent a little bit more than an hour. She probably spent 2 hours because she went over everything to make sure it was. But she checked me out on her. I felt like I was getting an interview. She checked us on. She checked the website. She checked the Google reviews. She looked at
Business Bureau.
She looked at the videos to see what the customer said. But I love it because it just proves our model so much more.
Yeah, you got nothing to hide.
She wants to come up here and talk about it.
Well, look,
Oh,
I
nice.
can't wait to Los, and that's the thing. We know so many of these customers that have come up and said, I want to tell other people the experience that I had.
I think that part has been the most surprising, that as Tom has grown this business and turned it into what it's turned into, the amount of customers that have said yes without any problem, like, hey, would you like to come up and cut a spot? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's awkward for me because I don't run this station. I'm just a paying guy. I'm just paying for spots. And the next thing you know, I'm like, I don't know if I could bring you up there or not. They said, well, I want to go up there, please. And they're asking me. It's not like I'm saying, hey, do you want to go on the radio?
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to say, hey, you want to go on the radio?
Yeah, we'll put you on one of these commercials.
It was a great idea for the first 5 or 6 that did it. I said, well, okay.
It makes sense.
If they're willing to let me do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, no, well, it does. I think don't get me wrong, it's good to hear it from you.
Yeah.
Good to hear it from Los when he talks about it and does daily. But it's better to hear it for somebody who has actually gone through the process and says, this is different than going to that dealership and spending 6 hours and overpaying.
And these are people I don't even know. But we're getting to know them, become friends, and they become part of our family.
Yeah, a little bit of the fabric, and I think, Los, that's kind of the way we feel about the listeners to this show. They've become family. They've become, because there's so many of them that reach out, about whatever the topic is, and I'm sure, Tom, he's got the same experience with them reaching out, going, "Hey, I need another car."
Well, we talk about our audience being the 1%.
Your audience is awesome.
They do the research, so by the time that they get on the phone with Tom or they're reaching out to him, it's like they know what they want. It's no surprise. The more of our listeners that we continue to meet out there, it's no surprise when Tom says like they're the most educated group. I firmly believe it.
Oh, I'm telling you, and some of these guys want to pay cash, and when they're paying cash, I still share the screen with them, and I show them, look, are you sure you want to pay cash for this? And then we start looking about it, and they say, Tom, if I never met you or I went into a dealership, I wouldn't listen to this. But you know what? I'm going to finance it because you make a lot of sense. Because we go over everything with them, and they end up just maybe putting $10,000 or $15,000 down and financing the rest of it because it makes sense. Some of these people don't even pay $1,000 a year on the average for finance charges, and they can make more than that holding their $50,000 in the bank.
Los, tell them how to get a hold of Tom.
844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1. Or go to honestcarguy.com. You can reach out to Tom Mitchell and get this whole process rolling.
Gosh, so easy.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's always great to have you, Tom.
Great coming.
And I love the fact that so many people are taking advantage and saving cash. Saving money on cars. Who would have thought that would even be a thing? I'd never heard of that before. Nobody can save money on cars. What are you talking about? They're so expensive.
And they depreciate.
And they depreciate, and Tom does make it affordable for you and your family. Thank you so much for being here, Tom.
Thank you,
Honest
guys.
Car Guy. The peace deal is set, signed, sealed, and delivered next on Extra 106.3.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Well, I admire Tug and Carlos in the morning here on Extra 106.3. They're very adept at interviewing politicians, and it's election time, so they're getting quite a workout. I hated it. I always hated interviewing candidates for office. And I guess one of the reasons was I always wondered, why are you running for political office? Why do you cast your fortune to the dumb masses out there? If you really had any qualifications at all, you'd stay in the private business world and build a happy future for yourself without having to dissect yourself in front of these losers out there. I've never been able to understand why most of these people run for office. I think it's really just for the power. Many of them were living pathetic, sad lives that would never have any patina of power anywhere. So they'll fix that. They'll run for office. Oh, they may be charming. They can charm enough people to vote for them. Yeah, I toyed with the idea. My wife told me that if I did run and get elected, I would serve as a bachelor. Well, that cured me. Why can't these people do something meaningful? Like maybe say, no pay raises will be effective for me as long as I'm serving this current term. Or congressman, why is it a crime to lie to the Congress of the United States, but it's not a crime for congressmen to lie to you? Fix that. You'll get my respect. Term limits. If you told me you just had a few wonderful things you wanted to accomplish and you'll do it in 2 terms and leave, okay, maybe you get my vote on that. And why can't we make these people pass a simple civics test before they run for office? We don't need Congress critters who think that we've already been through World War XI. A pox on their houses. All of them. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3. I know, I'm a cynic.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
They are either jealous, stupid, or bad people. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump posted on Truth Social about those he calls fools who think he hasn't been tough enough on Iran. The morning after he signed the deal with Iran at the end of the G7 summit in France to end the conflict.
We're never going to let them have a nuclear weapon.
Now, Iran's president also signed the agreement that will open the Strait of Hormuz to oil and other shipping, which President Trump says will avoid an economic catastrophe. The deal also gives Iran sanctions relief, sets up a reconstruction fund, and would unfreeze some of their assets, which is getting criticized by some Republicans and Democrats in Congress. But the president insists
it's not our money, it's their money, and we froze it. At a certain point in time, I guess we're going to have to give it back.
Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv.
As for the missile program of Iran, President Trump said from France yesterday that the Iranians will have some missiles because neighboring countries have missiles. There was a lot of reaction across the region to those comments, but this is not a final deal with the Iranian regime. This is an extension of the ceasefire between the United States and Iran. He said if they don't adhere to the terms of this deal and don't ultimately give up their nuclear program, that he would resume the bombing campaign against the Islamic Republic.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth is at a NATO meeting in Brussels, calling on allies to take more responsibility for their own security in Europe.
Capable of deterring right here on the continent and taking the lead for the conventional defense.
Hegseth also announced a 6-month review of American forces stationed in Europe. One of the men charged in the plot the FBI thwarted to stage a White House attack, Daniel Eskridge, due in court today in Missouri.
Prosecutors say the 5 men arrested plan to deploy drones armed with explosives in and around the UFC Freedom 250 event last Sunday in order to force an evacuation, and then planned to deploy snipers to fire upon high-value targets within the fleeing crowd.
That's Fox's Chanley Painter. America's listening to Fox News.
The Fox News Books podcast returns for a 3rd season with all American patriotism. Hosted by Fox and Friends weekend co-host Rachel Campos Duffy. Celebrate 250 years of America's greatness through the stories of service, family, and pride that encapsulates the American dream. Join Rachel as she highlights traditional American values that have been at the core of this nation for 250 years and will continue for the next 250. Follow and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
America, raise a glass to our 250th birthday with the Fox News Wine Shop, featuring limited edition USA 250 wines. Plus, get 20% off your first purchase with code FNRadio20. And remember, wines are delivered straight to your door, so don't wait. Order now at foxnewswineshop.com and use code FNRadio20 to save. 20% discount excludes wine club offers and cannot be combined with any other promotion. Expires July 31st, 2026. Must be 21.
I wake up every morning with the Morning Extra.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 1063. Morning, y'all. Halfway through the show, and Bryce has been talking about a great song. So serious. And this is what brought Metallica from being like this underground thrash metal band from Los Angeles into the mainstream. This is the song. And I know plenty of people were listening to them before this became a hit, but this was my first introduction because this was kind of their MTV debut.
It's their first video, like big video.
Dude, and the video is so freaking creepy and scary.
It's only from 30 years ago, which is crazy.
I know. It's all black and white. And the thing is, the guy is a soldier and he's kind of trapped in his own body, can't communicate, but he's in there and he can think. And dude, it's so creepy. And this song is so good.
Yeah, it's based on an old movie.
Right.
And the guy it's so creepy that he is fully conscious.
Yep.
But he has no way to communicate with the world.
That's right. He's trapped in his own body.
In his own body.
Dude.
Creepy.
So creepy and so amazing at the same time. And this song is so good. So Bryce, nice choice. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. If you sign up for a maintenance agreement today, you will be a part of giving money to Skyland Trail, which helps folks get lasting mental health care. I think we delivered a $10,000 check last year from the Christmas in July campaign, so it's back for a 6th year with Chuck and his team at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. So last night...
By the way, Tug, Johnny Got His Gun.
Oh, that's the movie?
Is the 1971 movie in which the young soldier loses his eyes, ears, mouth, nose, and limbs, but remains conscious and able to reason, rendering him a prisoner in his own body.
Ooh, dude,
creepy.
That just seems like the most scary thing that could ever happen to you. That right there. And Flounder, listening in this morning, he said, remember that those guys lost to Jethro Tull for Best Metal Album. And I think that was the Grammys, if I'm not mistaken, and Jethro Tull was up there playing the flute. You know, you're like, what? Metallica? Like, best Metal Album goes to Jethro Tull? What? This makes no sense. And the Grammys usually don't make sense if I'm not right. If I'm correct about that, I think it was the Grammys. But Flounder chiming in with bringing the musical knowledge this morning.
I like this song.
And then out of nowhere, the Kimmers here too. It's amazing. But a magical run ended for the Georgia Bulldogs last night. I stayed up late to watch it, and it was such a fun run. And Los, you described it the best earlier. Only one team is going to be standing victorious at the end. Everybody else is going home. Georgia made it so much fun to watch and be a part of. And, gosh, I wish them the best of luck next year.
Only one team ends with a win to end the season.
That's
now,
exactly right.
Everybody does the whole, well, I mean, if we don't make the playoffs and we won, no. You want to make the playoffs, but only one team ends with a win, and that's it.
Yeah.
Every single sport, every single time.
Yep. That's the way it goes. And it takes a while for people to wrap their head around that, because I used to not think that way. It never really hit me that way until, I don't know, maybe 5-10 years ago. And then it kind of all came together. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy your team doing good. And when it's over, be glad that it happened, not sad that it's over. And it's a simple way of looking at it.
Listen, we're going to go do youth volleyball. We're going to go play nationals in Minnesota. And what I'm going to be doing with those parents, especially because some of them, it's the first time they're ever going to do this, I'm going to be talking about how we started this process last July. We're into June and we're still playing, and here's how it is. And I'm like, it's special. It is. It's great. And so whatever they do, I'm there for it. I'm like, oh, will I be excited and disappointed and have all the feels? Yeah, but I think more than anything, I always walk away from those situations feeling, blessed to have been part of something like that.
And seeing your daughters excel, seeing your daughters happy, seeing them working hard to accomplish a goal, realizing that not every goal will be able to be accomplished in that moment, but it doesn't mean
they're going to be crying. I know,
right.
unless we win it, they will be crying. Of course. And that hurts to think about, but that's what happens.
But the resolve that it builds, the character that it builds, the determination that it builds, you learn so much more by losing than you ever do by winning. Now, is it great to win? I'm not saying don't try to win. Of course, winning is fabulous. It's fantastic. But you lose more often than you win, and it's what builds that character.
Tug, if I may, and this is the bad person in me portion of the show, I can't wait to make other girls cry first.
That is awful. But it's kind of funny at the same time.
Look at those girls over there crying because their season's done.
I can't wait to make some. That's right.
Bring on the next one.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That was the Kimmer going, Los, do better. That was Kimmer. That's what that was.
That's what it was.
Oh
it was
my
judgmental.
God. That's judgmental. That's right. Hit it off
Judgmental
again.
Kimmer.
Hit it off again.
Oh my God.
That was judgmental Kimmer right there. Oh, just on your statement, your mean statement of the day.
Should make these girls cry.
That's right. And then a little later, when it happens to you, then you pull yours in and you tell them it's going to be okay, and then move on. God, I love it. So funny. What was that? Where'd that come from?
Kimmer's laugh.
Oh, yeah, that's when he was showing us the guns. Yes, that's right.
He posted a video yesterday, and it made it over to our extra socials, and he was talking about Rick Jackson being the nominee for governor. And my first question that I put out there is, where are the guns?
Yeah, why'd you put those away? What are we doing?
Because every
here?
video he sends us has guns.
Every one of them, which I appreciate and love. But yeah, where are they at? Why wouldn't you post more?
Isn't it more hilarious that if he does post random videos, there's always a random gun?
Yeah, that's right.
I also got confirmation in the one he sent yesterday there was a sword on the couch.
There was a sword too.
Why not?
It seems imperative that Kimmer would have a sword. I think that is something that really does kind of build the character, kind of build the personality. Not only does he have lots of guns, but just in case he were to drop it, he's got a sword to pull on.
I told Tug that Kimmer walks around armed like he's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dude, think about it. Bryce is laughing.
Only points north.
Bryce is laughing so hard because he's got that he's got that holster that looks like Yosemite Sam, and because that would work in Pirates of the Caribbean too with that Colt 45.
With
and
a
then
sword.
he's got a sword. The only thing he doesn't have that he needs is a bandana or like whatever you call that thing.
He's got a bandana.
There's
got to be with the motorcycle. There's got to be.
Yeah, or like Glo said, the leather Commodore hat that they wore. That Johnny Depp wore. God, so good.
I wonder if for the nation's 250th birthday, if we could ever get Kimmer to dress up like a Continental soldier.
Dude, who's been doing that lately on TV has been our boy
Wiley Ballard.
Wiley on the Braves TV broadcast. He's been dressed up like a Continental soldier like 2 or 3 nights a week. I bet if nothing else, we could borrow that costume and have Kimmer wear it.
Could have Tug basically getting him dressed up to look like a Minuteman.
That's right. Come here, I need to powder your wig.
I can just imagine him walking into the office in like full colonial.
Absolutely.
Full colonial war fighting outfit.
Colonial foot soldier walked in. Come on.
Louder's just behind him with the colonial drum.
Yeah. Just the snare.
Just the snare.
And playing the rhythm. I love it, dude. That would make my day. It might make my life if I saw that. I don't think there would be anything better than that. God, so great.
He's got a sword
right next to his pistola. It's so great, and he will because he's such a ladies' man. He's you better watch out. He'll take your wife or your girlfriend too.
That's right.
He just texted me and said in response to your tweet, Los, that there's a pistol in the video behind him by the Santa stuff.
Oh, okay.
Next to the Santa stuff, of course it is.
That's awesome.
That is so good. All right, the Morning Xtra and Extra 106.3. Let's get into the first thing to know this morning and the peace deal. We've done well, Los. We gotten to the point where Donald Trump has signed a deal. He's gotten the Iranians to come to the negotiating table, and the Iranians have actually tweeted about it and said, this is a very respectful deal between both of the countries. And normally it's death to America. America's a Satan. So the fact that they're even willing to, in public, say that this is it's a good step in the right direction is, I think, a good thing. I don't know that I trust the Iranians by any means. Why should? They've never given us a reason to trust them. But I know Donald Trump is acting in good faith and trying to put together something that makes our country safer, our children's future safer, and the world really in a safer position.
There's two things that jump out to me. First, the fact that the left is so mad is a good thing.
That's usually the way it works.
That's the standard. The next one is, it doesn't matter what came out of this. If this document happened to say that the Iranians were going to sell us or we'll say this, give us their entire oil industry, the left would still immediately, without fail, go, well, it's a terrible deal.
That's right. Absolutely. Because
it's a deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that does not have one penny of an American dollar heading their way.
Demonstrated strength. This is the words of Wesley Hunt, which I like a lot. He demonstrated strength talking about the president, imposed consequences, and secured a deal from a position of leverage. And that naval blockade was the leverage, I believe, that he's referring to, because that was what broke the back of the Iranians. They are in dire straits when it comes to their economy. Inflation is, at an astronomical level. People can't go to work because their work doesn't exist anymore. They are in a place where they have to make a deal. They have to put back together some sort of living condition if they don't want their people to uprise and overthrow what's left of the IRGC and the mullahs. Look, I hope that ultimately happens anyway. I would like to think that one day the Iranian people will be able to overthrow those people that I do not trust, and I know Donald Trump doesn't trust either. But Trump did the best that he could in a bad situation with a bad group of people.
I want to highlight something here, Tug, because you and I are not beholden to any sort of discussion point, any politician. There's no place where we've ever been told, oh, you can't say that. I'm like, no, it's just not how it works around here. Know that is different from people out there. Like, for instance, there are war hawks that make money from conflict. Those are the people that are very upset. Those are the people that are basically turning their media partners and saying, hey, say this thing is terrible. Not only that, you do have those, like, for instance, those when it comes to people that are aligned with Israel. Listen, I'm a friend to Israel, all right? At the same time, I know they want us there indefinitely. Mm-hmm. Us getting out is not in their best interest. Sorry. That's where it is. So you're going to have people with like these different varying areas of a deal hurts them in the interest of their pocketbook or their presumption of safety.
And all those people that are saying, well, the United States is beholden to every decision the Israelis make. They're running our government. They have Donald Trump under their thumb.
Well,
where are y'all now? Yeah, where are y'all this morning? I keep noticing that y'all are awful quiet because, look, the Israelis do not want this to happen. They are not happy that we've come to a peace agreement. And look, if I'm looking from their perspective, I kind of understand. But Donald Trump has to do what's best for the United States of America regardless, and I think that's what he's doing.
And I think that when you start going through this, if you just keep that in mind, as far as the people that are squawking the most, it's because their ox is being gored with this thing. There is not one part of this document, and I've been through all of it, read through all of it, went through all the finer points. There is not one part of this document where I was like, ooh, I don't know about doing that.
Right. Yeah.
I was the one going, so about this $300 billion, they're loans.
Yeah.
And it's not our money.
And it's not ours. That's the thing.
It's not ours.
It's coming from those Gulf states. That's the important part. And J.D. Vance even talked about it several times. People were trying to make this out to be, we're paying them pallets of cash. No, that's what Obama did. That's not what we're doing.
That was my money.
Yeah,
okay?
That's right. Absolutely.
In fact, all they have access to is their own money that we froze.
And then whatever the Gulf states decide to give them for infrastructure and rebuilding, because we went in and demolished everything. They have no conventional military. All of that is sitting at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Now, do they have drones? Absolutely. Are drones effective? Sure they are. And the Chinese, for the most part, is who is kind of backfilling that. But Donald Trump even came out and said, and tipped a little bit, and I'm surprised that he did it the way he did it, but I understand, and it makes sense, when he said, I appreciate the fact that the Chinese and the Russians did not interfere overwhelmingly in this. Were they supplying drones and stuff to the Iranians? Yes. But did they come out in a big way and send, I don't know, a Chinese ship through the blockade and dare them to shoot at it? Or none of that happened. That is a mutual respect that I did not expect to show up, and Donald Trump actually pointed that out, which I'm glad.
And the other encouraging factor, and this has been going on since Monday. Since Monday, with this deal, when it had gone out over the weekend, we saw the markets making their adjustment. And the markets reacted, Tug, like, hey, this thing's done. This is over with, especially the futures market. We opened up at $73.90 a barrel for oil as of this morning. That, I believe, is going to continue to fall. You're going to have the worst-case scenario for the left going into the midterms. An actual deal with Iran, with us having their nuclear material, and all of our markets blowing up with our prices going down.
And Donald Trump even said this at the G7. Look, if we didn't find a way to end this in a positive manner, the oil markets were going to be topsy-turvy, and it was going to send the world economy into a bad place. He didn't want to see that. That's why he worked so hard to get the deal done. And now you can focus on the domestic issues, not having that hanging over your head continuously. That's what he said at the G7. So all the people that were complaining, he's not focusing on the domestic issues. Again, he's delivering exactly what he said he would do. You have to be satisfied with that. Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. I want to play you a little something from TMZ. And it is, it really does show Trump's ability and the strength that he has. And this is from a source that I didn't expect. And it's, like I said, TMZ, and why people should not be upset about that UFC fight that was on the lawn.
I have been away for a week, and I came back over the weekend, and I was watching all these political pundits who were saying that Donald Trump is doing and not doing things that are going to cost Republicans in the midterms dearly, especially when it comes to the cost of living. And they think the White House has made a gigantic miscalculation. I think Donald Trump is exactly on the course he wants to create what he believes will be a legacy that has absolutely nothing to do with the cost of living. It is a legacy about power and strength. Donald Trump has never been conventionally presidential. He is a builder by training with an ego the size of the Trump Tower. He reveled in having his name plastered on just about every building he ever built. I will tell you a story that I know this, that before Donald Trump became president, when he was working out at Trump Tower, he would point out the window to visitors and say, that's my building, look at my name on that building. He loved it, so it is on brand. So what looks to a lot of people like a distraction, which is, tearing down the East Wing, building a ballroom, an arch, trying to insinuate himself on the wall of the Kennedy Center, having an airport named after him, turning the White House into a gold-plated spectacle. That is not a distraction. That is the plan. That is who Donald Trump is. He wants George Washington presence in this country, in D.C. and elsewhere. He wants that stamp. He's not relying on other people to accomplish it posthumously. He is doing it himself now.
And then he goes on to say the Democrats who are complaining about this, the people who complain about this, do not get it. It resonates with blue-collar workers and the American people. And this is a known Democrat in Harvey Levin who owns TMZ, or at least started TMZ. It's owned by Fox Corps now. But this is a man who's not a Trump guy, but recognizes what's happening.
How has it taken a decade, and yet, and maybe this is just from creation of a character, how do they not understand him yet?
Yeah, right? I don't know how they miss it.
Levin gets it.
Yeah, he totally does. Know? And said it despite what his viewers want. He told them to their face, this is projecting strength and power and American exceptionalism on the front lawn of the White House. If you don't get it, you're a fool. And good for him for saying it out loud.
It's what was on display.
That's exactly right. And that's why so many people loved it. That's why people loved it, Los.
And by the way, do people forget? I mean, Donald Trump, part of, outside of the buildings and outside of the, all the places around the world, the golf courses and the resorts, the dude's also really big into boxing.
Yeah, he is. And shows.
He's a fight promoter for years.
And they love him. Dude, that's the thing. The fighters love him. And they love that he's there. Morning Extra 106.8. I know this pushed us a little late, but I wanted to play that because I think it's so valuable that even a Democrat gets it and puts it in the face, rubs the nose of his own viewers in it. That y'all don't get it. Why do you keep missing the ball? It's sitting on the tee. What does the 4th of July mean to you? What does it mean to them? Next on Extra 106.3.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station while you work at extra1063.com. Get the latest from the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, and Neil Bortz, and stay connected at the office. That's xtra1063.com.
I'm Patrick Brown, former Army Ranger in the United States Army. Like many service members, I had to make difficult choices when leaving the military, and the most challenging thing was finding purpose in a new phase of life. Housing, employment, education, way too many decisions and no idea where to start. That was until I met the Warrior Alliance. They made it simple. They listened and quickly connected me to the services I needed. And like a trusted friend, they even followed up to make sure I was squared away. Change a veteran's life today by donating at thewarrioralliance.org, helping warriors navigate to success after service.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Stovall & Company Wholesale Landscape Supply has been family owned and operated for more than 75 years, and we treat you like family too.
Check us out at StovallInc.com or stop by our new store in Canton, Georgia and see what we have to offer.
At Stovall, we supply all your landscape project needs.
Completely hassle-free, all the way down to the delivery.
Have you been dreaming of an outdoor kitchen, fireplace, or other custom paver project? We partner with Keystone Hardscapes for all your beautiful high-end concrete needs.
We look forward to making your landscape dreams come true. Stovall has it all.
This is Tom, the Honest Car Guy, and I'm here with Ron. And I'll let Ron tell you a little bit about his experience with us, and not only that, but the differences between a new car dealership and the Honest Car Guy, because there is a difference, with no doc fees and no addendums. It's kind of straightforward. They get to see what we pay for the car, and that's not something you get at a dealership.
Usually we're back and forth, and then you get like 1,400 pages of paper. And in this case, we did it all online. I mean, it was like, okay, I don't mind doing paperwork once I know that this is the deal.
And you got to see the financing, the numbers up front before you even bought it. You can make that call, and within hours, we can find you the car you want from your home. I mean, I had a customer call me up and say, hey, I bought a car in my pajamas.
If I'd have had some, I'd have been wearing them.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Thursday, June 18th, and here are headlines. President Trump returned to the United States after a G7 summit in France, where a U.S.-Iran memorandum of understanding, was signed, ending months of fighting. The agreement calls for an immediate ceasefire, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, limits on Iran's enriched uranium stockpile in a 60-day period to negotiate a broader nuclear deal. Redistricting will not be considered during Georgia's special legislative session beginning yesterday. House Speaker John Burns and Republican leaders informed Governor Brian Kemp that lawmakers will instead focus on property tax issues and election-related legislation, including changes to ballot counting procedures after the state eliminated QR code voting systems. And finally, the first named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, Tropical Storm Arthur, is expected to bring heavy rain, gusty winds, and a threat of flash flooding to Georgia. Forecasters are saying that Metro Atlanta could see 1 to 3 inches of rain and wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour tonight. A flood watch is in effect through Saturday morning. Officials are warning residents to prepare for possible downed trees and power outages. Today's weather includes that rain this afternoon with a high of 83 and a low of 70. For the Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Call Chuck and his team today. Get a maintenance agreement, come out a couple times a year, and make sure that your HVAC is running up to peak efficiency, and $10 from each agreement now through July will go to Skyland Trail, a local nonprofit here in town that is working to give people real help when it comes to mental illness. And look, there's plenty of challenges that we see across the country, across the state, across the world. It is there, and they're trying to do their best to help them out. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. What does the 4th of July mean to you? I want to run by the numbers because I know what it means to me, and I'll tell you, and I think it'll probably mean the same to you, but what does it mean to them as we run?
I'll be all right as long as there's light from a math dude. Most people don't like math, they run from the sun.
What does the 4th of July mean? America's independence, waving the stars and stripes, fireworks, flyovers, baseball, and hot dogs, and cookouts, and
guns.
Absolutely.
Wait, oh, dang it.
No, Kimber would say that. No, there's no doubt. Kimber would be 100%. And I'll be honest, dude, I remember on the 4th of July, growing up as a kid up in Northwest Georgia, 4th of July, people would shoot shotguns. You know, they just would. It's almost like New Year's night. Stroke of midnight, they would shoot shotguns. It's just kind of part of who they are. You don't have to like it, but that's who they are. That's who I am. And so I can appreciate it. But it's all about wrapping yourself in the flag, being appreciative, being grateful for this nation that we live in, which is the greatest on the face of the earth. Is it perfect? No. Will it ever be perfect? No. We're all flawed humans. But is it the best place on earth to live? And you are, I forget, was it you that had the percentages, Los, of being born in the United States? Like what percentage it was? You had, or I can't.
You had, well, I mean, the numbers most recently that we've had as far as people that were proud to be Americans, it was 90% of those that were GOP voters, 29% of those were Democrat voters.
Well, which goes right along with what Harry Enton has said. This is awful, and I'm not surprised by it, but it bothers me. Harry Enton points out it's very different for Republicans and Democrats. The Democrat Party, to me, this is so pathetic. They won't be flying Old Glory or celebrating America because they despise it. And that's the starting point for Los and I. We might disagree politically with you listening, but we all love America. And if you love America too, we've got a starting point. We can work through the politics. We can work through the disagreements, but you have to start at loving American.
Then you can talk to 3 out of every 10 Democrats.
That's right. You can talk. Listen to back that up. Listen to what Democrats versus Republicans think about the 4th of July.
One of the most stunning divides that we have seen. You know, we're talking about polarization in politics. It even comes down to what you believe July 4th actually is. Like, what does July 4th mean to you? Celebrate America, friends and family time. Among Republicans, what do you see? You see the clear majority say it's a time to celebrate America, 65%. Among Democrats, however, the plurality disagree. Look at that. What do you see? Friends and family time at 42% versus just 24% who say that what it means most of them is to celebrate America. So even on the basic question of what July 4th means to you, we have Republicans on one end saying celebrate America, more of them say that, and Democrats on the other end saying that it means more to them to have time with friends and family.
What do they say about the flag?
Yeah, okay, so what do they say about the flag? Even on the basic level of flag, look at this. Look at how we have an increasing polarization on this issue. We'll display the flag on July 4th, the American flag. Back in July of 2001, look at this. You had 68% of Republicans, 65% of Democrats saying that they would, in fact, display the flag on July 4th. You come over to this side of the screen, Republicans basically are where they were 25 years ago, right? 64%. But look at that Democratic percentage, absolutely plummeting. Just 27% of Democrats say they will, in fact, display the flag on July 4th. Democrats and Republicans in different camps, even on the simple question of displaying the flag on July 4th, a polarization, a split that simply put did not exist a generation ago.
What about the sloganeering about proud to be an American?
Okay, what about this idea? Are you proud to be an American? Extremely or very proud to be an American? Again, look at this divide, a growing divide on
and
this
we can
question.
jump in here
Back
because
in January,
kind of gave you those numbers earlier. We have to listen to Harriet and do it because you've already heard them. But when you see an American flag flying, you can almost guarantee the way those people vote. I fly an American flag on my porch every day of the year. I never take it down. I never intend to take it down. When I pass other houses that have the American flag, I usually know how they vote. It comes down to something that simple, Los. Celebrate America. 65% of Republicans say, yeah, that's what it's all about. 24% of Democrats do. And then flying the flag, 64% of Republicans, yes. Democrats, 27%, no, we're not flying the flag. Unreal numbers. But it should tell you everything you need to know about why they choose the policies and the decisions that they make when they're in power, because it's not about love of country. It is about love of power.
It was never a shot. It was never a shot when I said if you just view them as the anti-American party, everything they do will make sense.
That's right. It's so simple. And
it's not difficult.
And when you see people lining, like we have some new neighbors, and for Memorial Day they lined their sidewalk with the American flag, and I knew immediately. And I want to tell you, this is a gay couple that moved in across the street from us. A couple really, really nice guys. But
Jeff and Dave.
No, actually, no.
Dang it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter their name, and they're wonderful, and I don't know if they would want me to bring them in, so I'm not going to say
Danny and Denny.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's who it is. But I didn't at the time, Los, when they just moved in. I didn't know their politics. I had no idea. But then I saw them line their driveway with that American flag, and I was like, oh, I do know their politics. And then I saw them walking their German Shepherd the other day, walked out off the porch, greeted them, said hello, spent a few minutes. I know, they're going out of town. I was like, hey, man, happy to watch over the house. If you need me to get the mail, happy to do that, whatever, just being neighborly. And they were like, hey, saw the event that y'all did over in Alpharetta. Wish we would have been able to get there the next time you do one. We definitely will be there. But that I already knew what their politics were just by displaying the flag.
Yep.
Their lifestyle isn't like mine, but their politics are.
It is strange how that has become, and I referenced this initially. You started seeing this nearly 20 years ago, and it was at the Democrat National Convention. Mm-hmm. You started to see a lack of displayed American flags in prominence. Now, they would give you like the digital version here. It's up on this screen. But as far as flags on each side of the podium and prominently displayed, that's not what you were getting. In fact, they were much more apt to, similar to what you saw from Joe Biden in Philadelphia, ominous.
Yeah.
Let me make it look as deep and dark and scary as possible. It's not that leftists don't recognize the power of America. It's just they want it for their own purposes.
Well, or they want to tear it down, and hopefully something new will spring up, because that's what they said at the last convention. That's what the Democrat socialist that was up there speaking said. I want America to collapse. That way something else can spring up. What would they like to spring up? Socialist, communist. That way, to your point, they can capture that power, because it only goes to the people at the top. They always talk about the workers united. They got the fists raised up. It's never about the workers. It's about the people at the top. amassing power and amassing wealth and being in control of everything. And your example from the other day, which was so eye-opening to me, and I bet people listening, that the Castros are worth more than the Queen of England.
Double.
How can that be so if they're worried about the workers and they're worried about taking care of the downtrodden? How can that be so? Because they don't care about those things. It is about power and control, and they've amassed that wealth while that tiny island can't keep the power on.
It's funny how those communists, those leftists, those statists always use the power of government to enrich themselves while then making sure that there is no middle class.
But they'll tell you it's all about the workers. So
the workers of the world unite, of course.
Come on, let's get up here. We're going to take down the billionaires and trillionaires as we fly around in our private jets and visit our multiple houses, multiple mansions.
Communism depends on creating enemies and then telling people, just give me the power, I'll get even with them.
Yeah, for you. And the nutty thing is people think that I'm upset because Bernie Sanders has 3 or 4 houses or whatever the number is. I couldn't care less. I think it's great. # America. Isn't it wonderful that you live in a place where you can amass that kind of wealth? You can put yourself in a position. Now, I don't agree with how you got there, but regardless, in America, you can have that. And yet he preaches against it. It makes no sense. What he says and what he does is completely different.
Did you see when this got brought up with him? I think it was last week. And he was asked about the accumulation of wealth in order to be able, or the accumulation of 3 homes. And he claimed that he had gotten that money from the selling of his books. So he used capitalism to continue to push communism.
That's right. Isn't it? It is the most. It's just almost a joke. The humor is you have to laugh at it or to just piss you off because it makes no sense. They all do the same thing. They all talk about how we're going to create this perfect utopia that never exists, and they always make money using capitalism as they preach against it. It makes no sense when people hear it. That's why they don't take Bernie Sanders serious. Now, Mom Donnie, you got to take him serious because he's in power. And Bernie, you got to take him serious because he's in power. They want to do the things that they talk about. But it's hard to take them serious, at least on the surface, because the things that they do and the things that they say never line up. But they will, given the opportunity, they will bring the United States to its knees. And I am fearful of it. That's why... Go ahead.
I just think that they're largely children who are taking advantage of other people that have not grown out of being children.
Yeah.
Basically. I'm just the mentality of the left is, what are you, a child?
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Well, why won't you give me more stuff? Why don't you go earn it?
Yeah, it'd be nice to
go get it. What are you, a child?
Yeah. I can't take what they say. I don't think I made myself clear. I can't take what they say serious when they're using capitalism to get to the places that they want to go. But you have to take them serious because they're in power and will use that capitalism to destroy a capitalist market that put them in that situation because they got plenty of money. They're going to be okay. You're not.
I mean, I know leftists so well, I would be the worst case scenario. If I was to turn heel and be like, okay, I'm going to lead the next giant leftist movement, because these people are not hard to figure out.
Yeah.
And they're not hard to manipulate either. They are the lowest common denominator group in society. For everyone who points at MAGA and they're like, oh, MAGA this, MAGA that. Most of the time, you've got a whole lot of people, for instance, small business owners that do their own thing. Okay, that doesn't really exist on the left unless you're running a coffee shop. Okay, like these are not hard people to manipulate, and they show this consistently to the point where, as you went through your data, Tug, they look at the United States and they're like, July 4th. Oh, it's about fireworks, huh?
No, it's about, well, they said it's about spending time with friends and family. They don't care about anything to do with the...
It's a celebration of country, sir.
Right, it's exactly, and it's what it should be. Now, I'm not saying don't celebrate it with your family. Yeah, you should. But let's make sure we keep the main thing the main thing. And they hate the main thing, so they never do that. Morning Extra at Extra 106.3. I know you care about the country. I care about the country. Los does. And that's why we'll continue to talk about it. We'll continue to fight for it. We'll continue to vote and make a difference, just like we have leading up to the primary and the runoff. And then in the general, you got to get out there and vote. Make sure you take part in the process. Morning Xtra, Xtra 1063. Quickly, let's go to Bill, 404-741-1230. Bill, what's up?
Morning, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good, man. What's on your mind?
Got an opinion about Bernie Sanders and stuff. The problem is twofold. It's not just that they want to implement this. They actually believe the crap they're saying, that they think, oh, all these other communists do it wrong. We'll do it right. That's the problem. They believe this crap.
Yeah,
and
look.
it never works. It always blows up in their face. But they, for some reason, they think they can do it better than anybody else.
That's what they always say, Bill. Thank you so much for calling.
Let me give you an alternative view of this, Bill. What if Bernie doesn't believe a word of it?
See, and that's what I tend to believe. I don't think he believes any of it either.
But he knows that it secures power and makes him money.
And that's why he has 3 mansions. I'm not mad at his 3 mansions. I'm mad at him for actually lying to you and not believing what he says to get them.
Now, what he does is he makes the idiots think that it's possible.
Yeah.
In the meantime, he cashes that check.
Yeah. And uses this capitalistic market.
You know, for as much as you have the left that goes after those of faith, you know, most namely they'll go after, like, you know, let's say TV evangelists and all that sort of stuff. They're just doing it with politics.
Yep.
It's always been how it is. They give you this hype. They sell you this hypothetical of something that would never work. And yet then get you to buy into it as if it's some sort of religion. They're the purveyors of it. I don't think that if you got Bernie Sanders in a room, I think Bernie Sanders would be like, hey, man, I can't believe they bought it for this long.
Again. They've bought it again.
I've sold more books off of this stuff.
Right, and now I've got a new prophet on my side named Mamdani that's out there preaching it too. I can put my arm around him and we can make all kinds of money. It's what it's all about. Morning Xtra on Xtra 1063. Major League Baseball is run by a bunch of liberal women. It must be the case. Why? Next on Xtra.
Xtra 1063 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, June 18th. The Atlanta Braves dropped both games of record yesterday, losing the Monday game that was delayed, the Tuesday game, that was delayed by weather to the San Francisco Giants 7-2. They followed that up by dropping the evening action 7-5 to the Giants as well. Tonight's the series finale as Landon Rope gets the ball for the Giants. He'll be opposed by Martin Perez. First pitch is set for 7:15. You can hear all the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and for free on the Fan app. From the College World Series, Georgia's season has come to an end. They were beaten last night by Oklahoma 11-4. It'll now be North Carolina and Oklahoma matching up in the series championship. And from the NBA, former Atlanta Hawk Trae Young has declined his $48 million option for next season, making him a free agent. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2026 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. More than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4 or the 2026 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right-sized SUV for all the adventures ahead with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage, we do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
I'm Bill Hemmer, and these are the most impactful moments in American history.
June 19, 2019, President Trump made history. With just one step, President Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to step foot into the demilitarized zone greeted by North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un. The Korean DMZ was established in 1953, a 160-mile-long scar that divided the country into two. It's a site built from negotiations, designed to end the fighting and violence, though not the Korean War itself. And yet, on the grounds of this heavily guarded buffer, two leaders from two different worlds met. It was a meeting that was expected to last 5 minutes. Instead, it went 53 minutes. No treaties, no palaces, but instead, a handshake. For more, go to foxnewspodcast.com. I'm Bill Hemmer, Fox News.
Fox on Tech. Apple is about to make your wallet even smarter. iOS 27 is bringing big changes to Apple's wallet, the digital payment platform native to the Apple ecosystem. They intend for it to do more than it used to, and it may even intrude onto what you might use some third-party apps for sending and receiving payments. Apple's wallet already allows you to store and use credit and debit cards. Now you'll be able to do things like scanning a restaurant check and send cash requests to your fellow diners to pay for their part of a meal. You'll also be able to use the iPhone's camera to scan loyalty and membership cards, such as for a department store or a gym, and have the app create a digital version. The wallet will also be able to bring pertinent cards to the top of your stack as you physically approach the corresponding venue, such as a theme park gate. iOS 27 will be released worldwide this fall. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Neil Bortz is live every day on Extra 106.3.
I read a headline in the digital Atlanta Journal-Constitution talking about MARTA and the World Cup crowds coming to Atlanta. This MARTA official was saying they have to manage the public perception of danger on MARTA. Have you ever heard that perception becomes reality? The World Cup ought to be interesting. Too bad we don't have Bill Campbell around to really screw it up.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. We love Major League Baseball around here. But Major League Baseball is doing something that I cannot figure out. It is basically going against the beliefs of most every one of their fans. And this is coming out of left field, Los, and I can't figure out why Major League Baseball is making the decisions they are, specifically to Bible verses on their hats.
Well, I mean, you already experienced what happens when Jim Crow 2.0 happens in Georgia.
Oh, my heavens, yes. They pull away all-star games, just ridiculous.
And of course, knowing that so many black business owners were actually hurt by that, they're like, wait a minute, what did we do? Well, the answer is nothing, because baseball is run by what I would imagine is a group of call them the crazy liberal women. I mean, that's the impression that you get from the decisions they make. If you don't know the story, San Francisco Giants had their Pride Night, and 3 of their players decided that they were going to write Bible verses on their hats. Well, I think you just kind of let it go, right? It's like, okay, you decided you're going to say what you're going to say. Here's the special hat you're having to wear that's rainbow colored, but you decided you wanted to put a Bible verse on it. Again, no harm, no foul in my mind. Yet, Major League Baseball came forward and warned those 3 players about doing anything like this. And so now you've created this argument around Major League Baseball clubhouses and around the sport of, you're making me wear the pride flag, but you're not letting me show any sort of Christian values.
Mm-hmm. And the verse was written is from the good book about the covenant between God and man, that he would never flood the earth again. That's what the rainbow is all about. And that's what they wrote on their hat. It wasn't anything derogatory. It just said, hey, what we believe is different than what's being portrayed here. Usually, I've noticed, leftists love some protest. They love it. They'll get out in the streets. They'll make signs. They'll block intersections. They love protest. As long as the protests are in their favor. The minute people protest about something that they're into or they like, then the protest must be shut down.
And by the way, kneeling for, like, let's say the American flag and the presentation that we're going to have, or we're going to, honor the country. If you want to kneel during that, okay, that's a form of protest. I don't see writing a Bible verse as being the same.
I don't either.
I don't. And here's the way that Major League Baseball, and this was their warning statement, it said, quote, "To be clear, this routine verbal warning not to wear the hat in future games is not disciplinary and had absolutely nothing to do with the content of the message. We respect the player's right to free expression."
Well, it can't be both.
It can't be both.
Which one is it?
Why are you citing it? Why not just let it go?
Right.
Huh? Right?
And now with Josh Hawley all of a sudden sending a letter to Major League Baseball asking about it, and then there's lots of other people that have a new interest in Major League Baseball. I bet Major League Baseball tucks its tail and runs away from this as quickly as they possibly can, because they have the thing with O'Keefe Media up in Washington, D.C., where they had a comms director that has now been fired, saying, "I want to use Major League Baseball to promote communism, and we never use a particular player because of his Christian beliefs." So discriminating against his religious beliefs. So you have that. Now you have this, and a lot of people interested in why Major League Baseball is behaving the way they do. They're going to get themselves in some deep doo-doo, and it ain't going to take long, and I bet this goes away. I bet they get real quiet about this real quick.
They should have just slept this one.
Of course they should have.
Just sweep it under the rug, let it go. But yet, when you decided you wanted to make, and this is where, sometimes this is, again, that Aunt Peg in everybody. Let it go, Aunt Peg.
No,
you're not going to win this one.
They can't.
Like, do you realize what? Because having 3 players that on Pride Night decided to write anything on their caps, okay, it dies on Pride Night. You've continued this now to where a couple jokers in Atlanta are talking about it with the Giants in town.
Yeah.
It's going around the country. And what's happening now is that you have people actually pointing at Major League Baseball and saying, "The hell's wrong with y'all?"
Yeah. Dude, and I understand it, because I love Major League Baseball. Love it. And I used to love the NFL the same way. They got to the point where they pushed me and pushed me and pushed me, and I just said, okay, I don't have to participate anymore. Y'all don't represent my values anymore. And Major League Baseball is risking the same kind of thing. They figured it out early on. Remember when they did the whole, during the Summer of Love and all that, there was the demonstrations that were put on the back of mounds, BLM, and all these leftist messages, and the fans were like, what? What is this all about? And they quickly pivoted away from it because they figured out it didn't match the value of most of their fan base. This seems like the same kind of thing. They're trying it again, and it looks like it's going to blow up in their face again.
See, the left will make the argument of, well, do they put the Bible verses on their hats all year long? And this is what I would point out. For 1 month, teams actually point out that the sanctity of marriage between a man and a woman is not important to them, and expect the players that work for them to do the same.
And go along with it.
That is what these guys are pointing out. Now, again, I've told you, I don't have a problem with who you sleep with. I don't have a problem with gay marriage or anything else like that. I have said before, listen, I think if you want the tax breaks, you want this, my argument to my gay friends were, hey, guys, why not just don't call it marriage? And everyone will be fine. You'll get the tax breaks. You'll get all the rights under the law.
Which is what you say you want.
Right, but no. We want it to be a marriage just like anybody else's. Okay, well, that's where you're going to run into problems with guys like in Major League Baseball when they're pushed over into this area and they respond with, well, I believe, essentially, the sanctity of marriage is between a man and a woman.
And
now we're in a fight.
Right, and that in turn, because you're celebrating something that those guys do you have straight marriage night for a month? Do you do that too? Is it equal? Is it back and forth? Or are you
do we have Christian night?
Yeah, that's right. Typically, no. That I know of, 0% of that goes on. So that's not saying you want the exact same thing. That's saying you want more. And that's where people are running into that problem. That's why Major League Baseball is getting asked a lot of questions.
They should have let it go.
And And I think at some point they're going to try to back out of this. We'll see. We'll see how it happens. But if they don't, they risk losing a lot of people. Just not because they don't love it, just because they're sick and tired of having it put in their face. Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. The deal of all deals is done after a Fox News update and a Neil Borch report.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Well, I admire Tug and Carlos in the morning here on Extra 106.3. They're very adept at interviewing politicians, and it's election time, so they're getting quite a workout. I hated it. I always hated interviewing candidates for office. And I guess one of the reasons was I always wondered, why are you running for political office? Why do you cast your fortune to the dumb masses out there? If you really had any qualifications at all, you'd stay in the private business world and build a happy future for yourself without having to dissect yourself in front of these losers out there. I've never been able to understand why most of these people run for office. I think it's really just for the power. Many of them were living pathetic, sad lives that would never have any patina of power anywhere. So they'll fix that. They'll run for office. Oh, they may be charming. They can charm enough people to vote for them. Yeah, I toyed with the idea. My wife told me that if I did run and get elected, I would serve as a bachelor. Well, that cured me. Why can't these people do something meaningful? Like maybe say, no pay raises will be effective for me as long as I'm serving this current term. Or congressman, why is it a crime to lie to the Congress of the United States, but it's not a crime for congressmen to lie to you? Fix that. You'll get my respect. Term limits. If you told me you just had a few wonderful things you wanted to accomplish and you'll do it in 2 terms and leave, okay, maybe you get my vote on that. And why can't we make these people pass a simple civics test before they run for office? We don't need Congress critters who think that we've already been through World War XI. A pox on their houses. All of them. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3. I know, I'm a cynic.
Paul has a message for everyone. To everybody I offended this year, work on yourself so I don't have to do it again next year.
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
He's being criticized from the left and right. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Wary of the U.S.-Iran deal President Trump signed digitally last night, Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer posted on X, "We're worse off than before the war started." Republican Senator Ted Cruz says the president got very poor advice. History teaches that giving billions of dollars to theocratic lunatics who want to murder us is a bad idea. But the president insists.
We're not putting up money. Only if they're doing things right. If they're doing things right, if people want to invest, they can invest.
And on Truth Social, the president posted this morning, the fools he thinks that think he hasn't done enough and been tough enough on Iran are either jealous, stupid, or bad people. Before signing the agreement at the G7 summit in France, he says it achieves what he wanted.
Reopening the Strait of Hormuz and preventing Iran from ever obtaining a nuclear weapon.
But if they don't behave, the president says he'll bomb Iran again.
The final deal must be reached within 60 days with the possibility of an extension. This is related to Iran's nuclear program and the details that are yet to be discussed. The U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports, and the Iranians will receive tiered sanctions relief.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. War Secretary Pete Hegseth is at a NATO meeting in Brussels, telling our allies they weren't there for the U.S. when the war in Iran started.
But too many of our allies said no, or tried to drown us in arcane legal debates, or criticized us publicly for doing what they aren't prepared or able to do themselves. It was shameful.
He's at a meeting of NATO defense ministers in Belgium, telling them that over the next 6 months, the Pentagon will review U.S. military forces in Europe. Secretary Hegseth warning that if free-riding allies don't increase defense spending, the United States could withhold payments to NATO.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Ukraine's gone on the counterattack again in Russia with a wave of drones into the capital, Moscow, hitting an oil refinery, disrupting flights at the city's airports. America's listening to Fox News.
History isn't just in textbooks. It's the story of us, the United States. 2026 marks 250 years of America. And throughout the year, Bill Hemmer takes listeners on a journey through the 250 most impactful moments in American history. From the spark of revolution to the battles for freedom, the ideas, inventions, and decisions that changed the world. The 250 most impactful moments in American history podcast. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
You never know who might be taking the quiz.
Hi, everyone. It's Candace Cameron Bure.
Hey, everyone. It's Phil Sims.
It's Dolores Catania.
Hey, everyone. I'm Kix Brooks.
It's Candace Bushnell.
I'm Rob Paulson.
I'm Ryan Serhant.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nicole Palizzi.
Hey, everybody. It's Kevin Nealon.
What's up, guys? It's Nia Sue, and it's time to take the quiz.
5 questions in less than 5 minutes every day. Listen and follow at thequiz.fox.
Extra 1063 wants to know, is this what you voted for? Call 404-741-1230 and let us know on the Morning Extra.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los. It's Thursday. Just lean in, just peek over. You'll be able to see the weekend. It's so close. You can taste it.
Can we touch it yet?
No, you can't touch it yet. They'll
No touchy.
put you in jail. Don't you know? They will leave you in the squad car with your hands cuffed behind your back. Although this is one of those songs that they use at those places that you cannot touch. Much like Friday. You can't
negotiate?
Yeah,
like just get banned for life or something? One-time touch?
No, I think you go to jail and you get the ban. I think you get both. So I mean, if you're just trying to stack up wins, I guess that would be the win. You get both. You get to go to jail and you get to get the lifetime ban. So
what are top strip club songs?
Yeah,
this is what I'm using AI for today.
Yeah, well, look, I didn't even need AI. I know this is number one. There's not a chance. This at least is up there. I don't know. There are probably some hip hop songs that have eased into into more prominence than this one, but this one's probably still a big time staple that gets played every time in the gentleman's club. Something.
Oh yeah, it shows up.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Show me number 4. Is it number 4? Number 5?
No, I mean, it's just part of this list. Like, for instance, Nelly, Hot and Her.
Yeah, Hot and Her.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of them. Yin Yang Twins featuring Little John, Salt Shaker.
Yep. Those are in there. I would imagine some
girls on there.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, come on, dude. They got that written in neon lights on the wall. Yes, that one's in there.
Tug's Country Girl, Shake It For Me on there.
No.
I bet that gets used though more than you would think. I bet there's all kinds of those kind of super poppy, super hip hop influenced country songs that show up. Something tells me.
I have only so as far as Gentlemen's Club, I've been to one in Fort Worth when me and a bunch of my friends, one of them turned 21, and so that's what we did. I've been to a couple in Atlanta. We used to go do our radio show from the Cheetah. So I'm like, okay, that's what that was. And one other one in Huntsville, Alabama. And let me tell you, the one in Huntsville, Alabama is decidedly different than any of the other ones I've ever been to.
Yeah, let me tell you, Chattanooga, Tennessee, same way. I got drugged to it was my cousin's bachelor party, and they decided they were going up, I think it's called Diamonds and Lace. And I got drugged because I don't like going. I've never been comfortable. Been a handful of times, whatever. Got drugged to this one, and it was awful. I was like, "Get me out of here!" This is not only is it uncomfortable, the scenery's not even good.
It's not like the movies. It's not like the movies.
That's right. It's nothing like the movies. Uncomfortable.
There's only one reason I want to go to Magic City.
For their wings?
Just want to try the lemon pepper wings.
All right. I'm going to take your word for it. I don't believe that for 1 second. I'm not saying...
I promise.
I'm not saying that that's not up there as a reason
That is rated the best wing in Atlanta. I have to try it.
I think good marketing is the reason. I mean, let's be real.
I mean, I don't want to you can DoorDash it, but I don't want to DoorDash.
Yeah. I want to get in there and see what's going on.
I have to experience the atmosphere.
That's right. I only go in for the articles.
What if the wing gets bad while it's coming to my house?
That's exactly right.
It's a great point, Los.
Yeah. See, there we go. The fact that you just said you only want to go, it tells me that you're
promise you on everything. That is the only reason I want to go.
Teeth. The marketing has worked on you. So I guess good, because marketing is, it's kind of what we do. So it's worked, and now Bryce is hooked in. He wants to go to the strip club, get wings, and see the scenery. I know what you're there for.
Just want the wings stuff.
I know what you're there for.
I think one visit to Magic City and he would look like Kip Dynamite from Napoleon Dynamite after he gets with LaFonda.
Bryce is Kip Dynamite. I love it. That's good.
Let's see if I can find Kip Dynamite pictures.
Yeah, that's a good pull, man. I haven't seen Napoleon Dynamite in a while, but that movie is, I want to say it's now like 22 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And it was one that, dude, I was reluctant to watch. It was so big and so popular, and the Vote for Pedro t-shirts, and I was just, that's too much. It just seems like if you buy into it, then it's not going to be as good as everybody says, so I'm not going to waste my time with it.
Tina.
And then food. Yeah, that's right. And then my son, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, whatever, decided to watch it. And I was like, all right, the hype's gone. I'll watch it with you. Dude, I couldn't quit laughing. I laughed so hard. It was such a good movie. I mean, dumb. Just as dumb as you could possibly be, but so
I just rewatched Ferris Bueller the other day.
First time?
No, not first time. It was just on TV, and I was just like, I'm on the couch. I'm lazy. I'm not going to change the channel. Good movie.
Yeah, I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, man. It's so good. That is prime 80s TV right there, or movies right there. That is good living. You know how to live. I love it. Dogs are out. Braves on a little bit of a skid. They'll bounce back without a doubt. Got a couple health issues that's happening right now. Not hitting the baseball, which is key to winning baseball. And same thing happened out in Omaha for the Dogs. Once they got to Omaha, man, the bats went cold at the wrong time. And Oklahoma got hot at the right time, and that's exactly what you saw play out last night, Los.
Yeah, interesting to see Oklahoma being 2 different times just about 6 outs away from their season coming to an end and getting back in that series against Georgia Tech and making up a difference. And now they're going to play for a national championship.
Yeah.
Like that's how little and the margins for error once you get to this part of the baseball season, they're just so small.
And if you remember in that first game that they lost to Oklahoma, there was an error that caused Georgia's wheels to fall off the bus. The reason they lost the game was an early error in that game, and you just can't have them. And maybe that's what I love about college sports is there is the ability for an error to happen. It's less at the major league level, but errors stand out so much when you get to that level.
What was the lead? I think it was 6-3 when Georgia Tech was playing Oklahoma, and they had them down to like 4 outs.
Yes,
like that's how close it was to having their season over,
and then walked it off. And that lit a fire that has not been put out yet. I kept thinking at some point they got to lose. I mean, they're on like a 8 or 9 game winning streak. I mean, they've won 8 or 9 games in a row, which just really don't happen a whole lot in baseball because it's just doesn't allow for it. So this is a heater that, gosh, if you can get on one of those in Vegas, man, you'd be
a good final,
a millionaire. Yes, it will. I look forward to it, and I'll probably be cheering for Oklahoma just to see if they can stay it that hot. And, that North Carolina team's good. It'll be fun. All right, let's get to the first thing to know this morning because the deal is done.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high. Man, we got the story, no time for a lie.
Oh, my God, yes.
Put a boot in your ass.
I have a very simple view of this, Tug, and I want to do this by posing some questions to you. Can we do it in this presentation sort of form?
Yeah, of course.
You and I do it in this theater way?
Yeah.
Okay, assuming that when we look at this deal with Iran, and let's say, hypothetically, that both sides live up to their ends of the bargain with these 14 points.
Mm-hmm.
Tug, does Iran turn over their nuclear material to us?
Yes.
Tug, does Iran continue to try and pursue a nuclear weapon?
No.
Tug, Does 1 penny of American tax dollars show up in the hands of the Iranians from our pockets?
No.
Does the Strait of Hormuz open back up?
Yes.
Does things go back to normal from an economic standpoint in that area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What makes this so complicated?
Yeah, it's not. And it's funny because I got an email from a leftist that said, it was almost like rubbing it in a little bit. Bah, ha, 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 this is no different than the Obama deal that y'all hated, da, 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 da. And though I disagree with that, they should be over the moon if they believe that. They should be so excited because of it.
I'm like, oh, hold on, let me continue, and this goes outside of just what's in the 14 points of this deal. Did the United States devastate the Iranian military?
Yes.
Did they kill off the leadership?
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Barack Obama basically made it a point to hand them our money while demanding nothing in real in return.
That's right.
The reason why I know that is because they made progress towards a nuclear weapon.
And this, if they don't live up to, it's not a peace deal. It's not a treaty. It is nothing more than a memorandum of understanding. And if you don't meet the goals, the objectives, if you don't meet the things that we've agreed to, then we can go right back to bombing you into oblivion again. And then this time, it'll probably include all your oil infrastructure and everything that keeps your country alive. So if you don't meet them, then you're in trouble again.
If anybody ever wanted to read Nuclear War, Annie Jacobsen, book came out maybe 2 or 3 years ago. If you even want to listen to the audio version, whatever, it's well done. All right, so here's the thing that you find out pretty quickly. A nuclear weapon going off in the wrong place in the world ends the world.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you have a group of people that were so determined to make one because they want to use it to bring about the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the goal that's worth more than anything?
Of course. Yes. It's very, as
so
you
that's
said.
That's what's being downplayed by the left and by the neocons and the very weird conservatives out there, people that claim they're conservative. I'm like, hold on a second, guys. You're trying to keep end of the world scenarios from happening with people, the Iranians, who want to bring about the end of the world.
So is a deal good?
So the fact that they get access to the Strait again doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, now does it?
No, it does not. And
am I the mayor of Reelsville on this one?
You are, and then J.D. Vance had to be, the mayor pro tem when he was talking about how American dollars will not be spent, and that is the big difference in that email that I got. That is the big difference. Barack Obama sending you pallets of American cash, and the president and the vice president and this administration is not. You must be satisfied with that. How can you not be satisfied with that? They keep talking about the money, and they try to the $300 billion or $300 billion that is the Gulf states are going to give to the Iranians or lend the Iranians to rebuild their infrastructure because it is completely collapsed. That is a deal with them. That has nothing to do with us.
And
That's just written in.
That's a loan.
Yes, that's right.
It's not
our money, which is the most important part.
Not our money.
That's the most important part.
In fact, the only thing that Iran, there is going to be hey, we're going to relax these sanctions, and we're going to give you access to your money again.
Your money.
Your money. Not our money. Your money.
That's frozen in accounts all over the world.
With us being able to get a hold of your nuclear material. Again, tell me how this can be perceived outside of just playing a political game. If we're trying to keep crazy people from having the capability of ending the world, how is this bad?
Yeah, and for the people that, on top of it, for the people that the folks who said, I don't want to be involved in another war.
I don't want to be either, and now we're not.
And now we're not. Do you beat me to it?
All without boots on the ground. Amazing, huh?
Which is exactly what Donald Trump said he was going to do. We're going to stop the nuclear proliferation. We're not going to let them get a nuke. We're not going to let them get a bomb. and we're going to focus on not being there, no boots on the ground. We're going to get it done. He did exactly what he said he was going to do, and now he's turning his focus to the domestic issues that some conservatives have wanted him to be more focused on. Okay, everybody's winning. I don't see a scenario where even people that don't like the president aren't winning. Everybody wins. That's where we are.
This is, I mean, if you're a big fan of humanity, like I am, I tend to be, I think this actually works out pretty well for you.
Yeah, it does.
So the people who've decided that they wanted to end the world and bring on the 12th Imam have decided that pursuing a nuclear weapon is no longer in their best interest financially or maintaining power.
Oh, good.
Okay, fine. Good. Well, then you know what? We'll let you have all this other stuff back. You just aren't allowed to have a thermonuclear weapon.
That's exactly right. And just got a text from our friend Steve Marcinko on this along these lines. He says, another big point to be made. Our military is out of military targets. All that's left is civilian targets.
Yeah.
It's such a and we don't even cover that this morning. Thank you, Steve, for listening in and for being a part of the conversation, because it makes so much sense and everybody wins.
Think of going back several weeks when we had the initial ceasefire, and Tug, I had brought it up on the air. I was like, we are running out of military targets.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Which is why we were threatening to hit other parts of their infrastructure. The military targets were essentially eliminated in the first few days.
Yeah, that's right. It was it's a victory for everybody, whether you like the president or not, whether you like America or not. It is a win. Everybody is getting something that they want, and even the lefty loony that emailed me and was, I think, incorrect about it being the Barack Obama deal. Even if you think that, go ahead and celebrate. You're getting what you want. You loved the Barack Obama deal.
Yeah,
so you should be thrilled if that's what you think it is. You should be thrilled. And yet there will be people that'll complain and not be thrilled, but that's okay. Let's move on to the planned attack on UFC Freedom 250. Dude, they just cannot stop trying to kill Trump. It is in their blood. It's like the Hatfields and McCoys.
I keep going back to this, Tug, mentally. When you had the joke made about Michelle Obama being a man, and everyone's like, oh, God. And my initial thought was, well, what's the big deal? It's a joke on that stage.
Yep.
It's not like you're trying to kill Michelle Obama 3 different times or
again during that event.
Or, and that, as I'm saying the exact thing, like 24 hours later, we find out, oh, no, here was this group and here was their plan of attack. I'm like, come on, you. But it really puts it into perspective. You're upset about Michelle Obama catching a stray, a joke, calling her a man. Meanwhile, over in Ohio, they're having to make sure that these dudes that were planning on attacking the event are not successful.
Yeah, where are those people? Are they talking about how terrible that is?
We are not the same.
Yeah, and they don't even care that whole thing came down. I've not heard Dave Portnoy say one thing about it.
Of course not.
Why would he? Right? Because he's just trying to get a rise. He's trying to get attention. The dude, as you pointed out yesterday, has made his living on freedom of speech and now all of a sudden wants to curb freedom of speech. Dude, what a freaking joke that guy is. I've never been a fan of his to begin with, and that just makes me understand or realize that I was right about him the whole time.
And when you look at the rest of these fools, I mean, some of this, when you start going through this plot to attack the UFC event, all right, these are a lot of online losers, and whether they would have carried anything out or not, who knows. But the mother of the primary target here thought enough of what was going on with him to report him to the police.
Dude, the mother.
And they figured everything out from there.
The mother. She thought it was serious. She knew it needed to be reported. She took it very seriously. So if she did, and she knows her kid better than anybody else, I'm taking it serious. And you have to. You have to take these nut jobs serious because you don't know which one is going to actually try to pull the trigger. And maybe they all will. Maybe some of it is just boisterous. I'm going to do something to make myself look big online. It doesn't matter to me. Take it all serious because they continue to shoot at him. That's why you have to take it serious.
This dude was 5'11" and 260 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a large That's a large 19-year-old.
That's why they had to recruit some others, because he was going to be out of breath.
You think he was going to be too tired to make the event?
He's going to be give out. He wasn't going to be able to walk to the area to pull off all. Because the plan was relatively detailed. But I don't think he'd have been able to pull it off just because he would have been out of breath the whole time. But he had other people that maybe would. Absurd, all of it. I'm glad that they foiled the plan, and I'm glad the mother spoke up, because many times parents are afraid to speak up because you don't. Once you open the can of worms, there ain't no putting the lid back on it. You ain't putting the genie back in the bottle. So good for her for being brave enough to do it. When we come back on Extra 106.3, Dr. Rich McCormick joins us to reflect on the Georgia election runoff. We'll also tell you about that job fair that he's hosting, too. You'll be able to learn about that on extra1063.com next on the Morning Extra.
Hey, it's Los. Let's talk about Howard Brothers and Toro. When summer hits, your lawn work, well, it doesn't slow down. It starts to pick up, and that means you're going to need some equipment that's going to help you along with that. That is where Toro mowers come in. Built for power, comfort, and a smooth, reliable cut, Toro helps you tackle tough grass and helps those long days, makes them a lot shorter. You handle them with ease. You're not just cutting grass. You're cutting the grass quickly and getting the job done right. Find your Toro, that mower, over at Howard Brothers. They've got the team, they've got the machines, they got everything you need for your mowing season all season long. The grass is always greener with Toro and Howard Brothers.
Your favorite Extra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Extra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Extra YouTube channel and get the Morning Extra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video.
Summer is here, and hopefully vacation is on the horizon. Whether the beach or maybe you're more of a mountain person, you've planned and saved in order to take some much-needed time off. You planned your vacation. Shouldn't you plan your retirement? You planned for a week in the sun, but have you planned for decades of golden years? Master Plan Retirement works with you to create a holistic, comprehensive retirement plan in order to offer the one thing your time off needs the most: peace of mind. From income and growth, tax strategy, legacy planning, and more, Master Plan Retirement walks alongside you to help ensure your golden years stay golden. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Visit masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
This is Tom, the honest car guy, and we got a surprise call in from a customer of ours, Travis, out in Jefferson, Georgia. Travis, good to hear from you, buddy. You want to tell a little bit about the experience you had with me at the honest car guy?
The whole experience, honestly, was one of the smoothest car experiences that we've ever gone through, meaning that there's no pressure. There's no runaround. It's just straight up honest service. The price that you guys present or find for you, that's what you are going to pay. And you just get a great deal. I've been educated to a newer process of the car dealership game. You guys have not come in and you're setting the benchmark for how car dealing and car buying and car selling really should be.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Thursday, June 18th, and here are your headlines. President Trump returned to the United States after the G7 summit in France, where a U.S.-Iran memorandum of understanding was signed aimed at ending months of fighting. The agreement calls for an immediate ceasefire, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, limits Iran's enriched uranium stockpile, and also calls for a 60-day period to negotiate a broader nuclear deal. Redistricting will not be considered during Georgia's special legislative session that began this week. House Speaker John Burns and Republican leaders informed Governor Brian Kemp that lawmakers will instead focus on property tax issues and election-related legislation, including changes to ballot counting procedures after the state eliminated QR code voting systems. And finally, the first named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, Tropical Storm Arthur, is expected to bring heavy rain, gusty winds, and a threat of flash flooding to Georgia. Forecasters say Metro Atlanta could see 1 to 3 inches of rain, with wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour starting tonight. A flood watch is in effect through Saturday morning, and officials are warning residents to prepare for possible downed trees and power lines. Today's weather will feature heavy rain in the afternoon with a high of 83 and a low of 70. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10 here on Extra 106.3. Joined by Dr. Rich McCormick on the show. And we're grateful that you took time with us, especially after a big day.
Yeah, there were a lot of people on pins and needles. These were both 50-50 races. So much at stake. The future of Georgia was determined, and it's exciting. I mean, great people involved in the race. My hat goes off to the people who actually were defeated, too, because there's some good people that are no longer going to be running. But great race. I hate primaries. I hate them with a passion. People who agree with each other with basically going after each other is just really hard to watch.
Dr. Rich McCormick is our guest. Congressman, I want to ask you about the importance of keeping a Republican as the governor of the state of Georgia. We heard it from Ted Cruz when he talked about what that could possibly mean for even the Senate with being able to, perhaps get John Ossoff out of here as well. How important is it that Rick Jackson ends up continuing to lead the state rather than seeing somebody like a Keisha Lance Bottoms?
Well, everybody knows Keisha is a deeply flawed person, not just a candidate, but a horrible mayor. This is going to be the fight of our lifetime to maintain a great tradition of business savvy and opportunities here in Georgia. If you think about our taxation, the regulation, the business, the jobs, the economy, all the great things that make my district alone, we have Johns Creek, the number one city in America to live in. We have the wealthiest Republican district in America right here in Georgia in my district. You have the number one business environment for 8 straight years. We have a lot of stake here to continue.
I want to ask you, if Rick Jackson goes on to win, which we certainly support and hope that's the case and feel pretty good about it, what is the relationship that you have as a sitting U.S. congressman with the governor of the state, that you have representation in? What's that relationship like? Is it busy? Is it active?
Well, with Governor Kemp, I feel like he's one of the most accessible politicians at his level in America. I know a lot of very highly ranked politicians, and every time you text him or call him, he gets back to you right away if he can't answer. I think Rick Jackson will be the same kind of guy. Rick has a great grasp of knowledge, incredibly bright, has a ton of experience in healthcare, one of the biggest challenges in America, one of the biggest spending item in federal and state governments now. It's the biggest spending for all Americans. It takes up a fifth of our GDP, and he has a ton of experience, understands where the waste, fraud, and abuse is. I think he'll be great. But accessibility is really important to share ideas, especially when you're dealing with things that involve both the federal and state level politics. And we have a lot of those things going on in Georgia.
Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick is our guest right here on the Morning Extra. I have to tell you, I was very concerned. We got a phone call from a listener that asked us, hey, I voted last month. You're telling me I have to vote again? I spoke with another friend of mine, pretty plugged in, and she was surprised that we had another election. When we talked to the camps, They said, hey, we had 900,000 a month ago. We're expecting somewhere in the range of 700, ended up being about 708,000. How important is it that in an off-year election, we really drive the fact that come November, we got to get out there and vote?
Yeah, it's not surprising that in a runoff of a primary that there's less turnout. We've actually been pretty impressed by our turnout. I was worried about voter suppression, and not because of something nefarious, but just because of burnout and because it's a midterm. But I think Georgia's going to handle business. I think Ossoff is going to be the toughest race of all. He's an incumbent, which gives you certain advantages, and of course he's well-spoken. But his voting record is incredibly flawed, and we need that seat. We need to flip as many seats as possible. We were one of the few pickups we could have. So I hope we can put away all the past arguments and really go to war and win this race. And I think I'm going to do everything I can, and I hope everybody else does too, to really try to bring this home.
What is the angle of attack, do you believe, that Mike Collins will need to take on Jon Ossoff? I mean, just recently, because there's not a lot out there. I don't feel like he's did anything good or bad. He's just kind of there.
He just votes with the Democrats all the time.
Right. So I don't know how you put gloves on him, at least because he's not in the news cycle. But recently he said, I'm locking arms with Keisha Lance Bottoms. I believe that's because neither one of them have money to spend, and the Democrat Party doesn't have a lot of money to spend. So I think that's an angle of attack you can take on a Jon Ossoff. Your judgment's bad because you're locking arms with someone to let the city burn down in the city of Atlanta. If you were running against him or advising, Mike Collins, what would you suggest? What way would you take?
Well, there's a few things. First of all, he is not lacking funds. He is well funded. There'll be a ton of C4 and Super PAC money spent. He's going to have as much money as anybody, so you don't have to worry about that for him. But I think it's guilt by association. He was a firm supporter of Biden, voted in lockstep with everything the Democrats always wanted. Yeah, he'll nod his head and clap at the president's State of the Union, but when it comes to his record and what he stands for, and yeah, lock arms with Keisha Lance Bottoms. See how that goes for you. I hope they vote. I hope everybody who votes for Keisha and doesn't vote for Keisha votes accordingly with somebody who's going to see the world similarly, and that's Jon Ossoff. I think he is absolutely a wolf in sheep's clothing. Nice enough guy in person, but his voting record is what's going to affect the future of you and your family and Georgia, our ability to create wealth and jobs and prosperity into the future. That's what it's saying. Don't get distracted by personalities. Don't get distracted by rhetoric. Look at the results of what kind of things he can vote for and how that's going to hold us up at the federal level. I think it's very clear what choice needs to be made.
Dr. Rich McCormick is our guest. Congressman, I know that there's some Republicans that get a bad rap for being, rhino Republicans, for, not voting in lockstep all the time with the administration. And I guess that's the part that I think is the plan of attack on Jon Ossoff. Georgia has largely been, for the last several years, a purple state, and yet he votes in lockstep with the Democrats no matter what in a state that's essentially 50-50 in terms of representation.
Yeah, this is the thing that's going to have to be highlighted. I'll be honest with you. His strength is going to be his constituent services. He understands that when there's a need, when there's a hurricane or something like that, his people are all over. They're going to answer the phones. That's his superpower. But when you talk about the future of America, when you talk about passing bills, when you talk about representing Georgia's constituency, he is the worst. But it's going to be a tough fight. I'm telling you, we cannot take this lightly. Mm-hmm. We have to get involved. And when you're talking to people, too, it's got to be not just people who look like you. I mean, this has got to be an appeal to every single person in Georgia. And remember, we're a minority state. That means when you're talking to somebody who doesn't look like you, it doesn't matter if they're black, Indian, Korean, whoever they are, this is something that benefits all people. When you have more jobs, more wealth, everybody benefits. This can't be about divide and conquer of the people and giving away people's money. Like Margaret Thatcher said, problem is eventually you run out of other people's money, and it's been a failed concept since the beginning, but he is essentially a socialist when it comes to his voting record.
How do you get that? As we talked to Dr. Rich McCormick, how do you reach people to tell them that message? Because we talk about it all the time. So if folks are listening here, they hear us talk about it, they hear you talk about it. What is the wisdom to get that message to everyone in the state of Georgia that it is so important to vote? And here's the reasons it's important to vote. Yes, he'll help you with services like you mentioned, but you got to get the message, that rest of that message out. How do you do it?
Well, first of all, we can't be nasty. If you're proselytizing, anybody who goes to church and invites somebody to Bible study, people hear me talk about this all the time. If you look at the success versus the failures we've had in politics in Georgia, you're talking 16-point divergence between candidates with the same essential politics when it comes to voting. So this is about messaging. When you're messaging, don't go out there and invite people to the party by calling them an idiot. It's not going to work. You can't invite somebody to the Bible study by calling them an idiot. If you want to convert them, stop punching them in the face. Have a conversation about what's good for them, how you love them, how you care about them, not how they're wrong. We got to get over this idea that you're going to actually convince people to vote for you by being mean. You got to be nice. You got to be attractive. Look at the Reagan era where he's winning by 17 points. I think he won by 20 points. I think he had over 75% of the vote for Reagan because he was charming. He painted a picture that was attractive. He wasn't going out there just making fun of people and calling them names. We really have to be appealing. And I think that's what America needs right now is a unity message, knowing what's good for us, what's going to be successful for our children, what's going to carry us into the next generation of success, the American dream. But let's be appealing, not just argumentative.
Well, just as Tug had brought up, and Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick is our guest, I'm hoping that the mistakes of the past get done again and get associated to John Ossoff. During the last cycle, when we had advertising, when Stacey Abrams was really struggling with young African-American men, she had a whole ad campaign that came out on this radio station that were basically treating them as ignorant. And so it was that insult, that insult to start with of, hey, why don't you come join me, while also insulting them. I'm hoping that that's sort of something that maybe that if Keisha Lance Bottoms makes that sort of mistake, that it ends up also being associated with John Ossoff.
Yeah, she's got the harder haul in this race. Her history is so well documented. Her divisiveness, her lack of support for law enforcement, anti-2A. I mean, she is not a good manager. How would you like to see that scaled statewide? Nobody wants to see that. I think she's really in for. I think she's in for doom in her candidacy. I think the harder race is going to be the Senate race. Once again, an incumbent. A midterm, but Keisha's in trouble. She has a record that's nothing but horror.
Hey, Morning Xtra at Xtra 106.3. Dr. Rich McCormick joins us here on the show, and we're a bit envious of you this morning, Dr. McCormick, because
I bet you are.
I saw some pictures of you with maybe, I don't know, Luke Bryan. Saw you with pictures
saw some
with
stuff over the weekend.
Yeah, it was like a little bit of a dagger to heart.
We didn't include Tug and Los.
We just wanted to be there with you. That's all.
How was that entire event from being on the ground for Freedom 250 with the UFC?
You know, I got to tell you, it's truly a blessing. There's some hardships in this job. Nobody feels sorry for me, but gosh, this weekend I was the luckiest man in the world. I really felt that way. 4,000 people, about a large portion of them were actually military guys who kind of basically essentially won the lottery. I was laughing. I saw this PFC walking in front of me. I'm like, this person has no idea how lucky they are. They literally have spent less time in the service than I spent deployed, and they're at the biggest fight, the biggest sporting event in the world history, and I was chuckling because I was like, well, they signed the dotted line, they volunteered, they stepped up. Congratulations, young man or woman. But it was epic, historic, exciting, and what a great card. And every inning was not decided by a judge scorecard. It was decided by the men in the arena, and they put their heart out there. And just what an epic event, surrounded by people who are impacting America every day. And I was just counted myself blessed to be there.
Yeah, that was for me the point where I was so proud of it, that when the coverage began, it talked about how the majority of the people there were servicemen and women. And they had to first off enter in and point out that they were a UFC fan, and then got an opportunity to do that. And so from that standpoint, I was able to swallow the pride and the hurt and let go that I wasn't able to be there. But as I told Tug, because when we got a chance to host a town hall for you, I kind of felt like I was your gladiator, like you're heavy to deal with some of the crazy leftists. So maybe on the next one,
Yeah, this might be a once in a lifetime, quite frankly.
So certainly,
there's never been anything like this in the history of mankind. Certainly not. Well, sorry, maybe you could say the gladiatorial games in Rome, but certainly nothing in the United States. Even the closest thing I can think of is Teddy Roosevelt boxing somebody else, or wrestling, or doing archery in the backyard. My goal is to see a rugby game in the White House lawn. I think that would be my ultimate. But just really, really a neat event. It really wasn't a partisan event. I know people are going to think of it that way, and I just think it was a great celebration of athletics and competition and patriotism. Had that flyover. Oh my God!
Oh, so awesome!
Amazing.
Well, but here's the thing: to echo what you've just said, Dr. McCormick, Zach Brown of the Zach Brown Band, who's from here in Georgia, sang the national anthem, did a concert there too. People were giving him a bit of grief, and he was like, this isn't political at all.
The UFC is a meritocracy. It's about fighting.
And on top of that, this is about America. That's what I care about. So you can take all your politics and put them away. I don't care about the politics either way. I care about our men and women in uniform, and I love America. That's why I'm here.
And oh, by the way, talk about meritocracy. That was a phenomenal, one of the best national anthems I've ever heard sang. They did a phenomenal job, and the fights were phenomenal. And to have an American come as an underdog and slug it out after getting that lever punch in the second round, I thought it was over.
I thought he was done.
And that's America, right? Coming back from that's George Washington coming across the Delaware the way he finished that fight. It was crazy cool, just electrifying.
Yeah, and as I told Tug the next morning, because he hung in for a while, but at the point where he went to bed, I was still trying to fight through it after 1 o'clock in the morning. The fact that Gaethje is a guy who's at 37 years old, he's been a great fighter. He was an 8-1 underdog, and yet he's now a champion. Like, it was a perfect way to end the night.
It was phenomenal. And I want to point out, not only him, but the president, 80 years old. He outlasted everybody. He was until 2 in the morning and still going. It was just crazy. And then he got up. He got up, went to the airport, and flew over to France to meet with Macron, like 6 hours later. It's crazy. I mean, that's the energy. This guy, his physician is Dr. Barbara Bella, who used to be my boss in the Navy as an ER doc, and he's his physician. And I'm like, man, you lost weight. He said, I can't keep up with this guy. It's just constant energy. And Ronnie Jackson, one of my best friends, who's the former president's physician, same thing. It's like, you think, is he on drugs? Nope. This is just all natural. This guy is a bundle of energy, just keeps on going. He keeps everybody on their toes, and that's why he's getting things done.
Dr. McCormick, we appreciate you taking the time for us this morning. You know you're always welcome on the show. We love having you, love talking to you. Want to make mention quickly, too, that we're going to have it up on our website, the job fair on the 30th.
Yes.
That way folks can link over, because I know that's near and dear to your heart, making sure that the businesses and prospective employees know about it and are able to take advantage of it as we wrap up here. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Super excited about this, guys. We're going to build on this every year. We're going to do this annually. I want to see people exposed to all the amazing jobs. We have one of the lower employment rates in America, 3.8% here in Georgia. We need to do better. And there's going to be this isn't going to be McDonald's. It's going to be nothing wrong with McDonald's, but we're going to have some good paying jobs that I hope people show up and experience really opportunity.
Yes, sir. You can learn about it on Dr. McCormick's website, as well as at extra1063.com. Hope you have a great day, sir.
You too, sir. Have a blessed one.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 1063. When we come back, the worst bet of all time. I mean, the worst way to lose money of all time. And then how you might make some money, too. Next on Extra.
Extra 1063 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, June 18th. The Atlanta Braves dropped both games of record yesterday, losing the Monday game that was delayed, the Tuesday game, that was delayed by weather to the San Francisco Giants 7-2. They followed that up by dropping the evening action 7-5 to the Giants as well. Tonight, the series finale, as Landon Rope gets the ball for the Giants. He'll be opposed by Martin Perez. First pitch is set for 7:15. You can hear all the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and for free on the Fan app. From the College World Series, Georgia's season has come to an end. They were beaten last night by Oklahoma 11-4. It'll now be North Carolina and Oklahoma matching up in the series championship. And from the NBA, former Atlanta Hawk Trae Young has declined his $48 million option for next season, making him a free agent. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Commuting every day? Well, the 2026 Toyota Camry is now all hybrid, which means for you up to 53 miles per gallon in the city. An easy way to cut those fuel stops without giving up comfort. At Marietta Toyota, every new Toyota includes our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty, unlimited time, and unlimited mileage for as long as you own it. And we're voted Best of COP for 2026, Best New Car Dealership, and Best Service Center for well-qualified buyers. 6.49% APR for 72 months is available on the new 2026 Camry hybrid through June 30th. Non-Toyota owners may qualify for a $1,000 Camry Conquest bonus cash, no trade-in required. Remember, visiting us on Cobb Parkway South means you're going to get the best deal possible. We're just north of Truist Stadium. Marietta Toyota since 1975. We've been here and we'll be here for you.
6.49% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers are qualified. $1,000 Conquest for eligible current non-Toyota owners. Must finance and lease through Southeast Toyota Finance. No trade required. And 6/30/2026. See dealer for details. All prices exclude tax, tag, title, and include $699 dock fee and $257 electronic tag fee.
The walk-off home run, the buzzer beater, the photo finish. That feeling when everything lines up and you get what you need just when you need it. It feels unbelievable in sports, but when it comes to your finances, it makes you feel unstoppable. Visit Truist.com today to see how having the tools you need and a great team by your side can help you take your game to the next level. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Hello, folks. This is your captain speaking. As we prepare to take off, I'd like you to draw your attention to the dimmed lights, lit candles, and soothing sounds of smooth jazz. We'll be making love shortly and taking off in just a moment. Please fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride. And this is your captain speaking again. As you can see, we're experiencing engine failure. Looks like we're not going to get this bird off the ground tonight.
Sound like your sex life? Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? If you're struggling with ED, we understand the feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there is help. You need Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They specialize in treatments like the P-Shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimix. Schedule your appointment today. Call 404-777-1911 and learn more online at tbtofga.com.
Personal safety is about so much more than just protection. It is about confidence, empowerment, and peace of mind. Byrna is the world's leader in less lethal personal defense, and right now Byrna is offering $100 off the very powerful and proven Byrna LE Gen 2 launcher. That's only while supplies last. The LE is the law enforcement launcher. It was engineered for police, and it is relied upon by law enforcement globally every single day. It's now available for the public to buy, giving families across America a very powerful way to protect yourself without using lethal force. The Byrna LE Gen 2. It fires powerful kinetic rounds and chemical irritant projectiles with an effective range of up to 60 feet, designed to help deter and de-escalate any threat. There's no background checks. There's no permits. It's legal in all 50 states. You're over 18, you can carry it. It's a Byrna, and it will ship directly to your door. Byrna will give you the confidence to feel prepared, the control to act from a distance, and the peace of mind that comes from having a less lethal option ready when it matters most. Visit Byrna, BYRNA.com, and secure yours now. That's Byrna.com.
The American dream is alive and well with the Victor Armendariz Show. Raised a first-generation American, Victor is a Mexican who grew up witnessing his father achieve the American dream. You will not get spin here, just the facts and opinion from someone who absolutely believes in American exceptionalism. The Victor Armendariz Show. Always available at thepodcastpark.com and streaming free on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. Here in a minute, I'm going to tell you what not to do Do not do this. It is something that is not in your best interest. But first, let me tell you something that is. Freedom lives on Extra 106.3. We're going to hook you up with an extra $250 to celebrate 250 years of American freedom. Starting Monday, we're going to be hooking up folks with an extra $250 to help with gas, bills, or maybe just a case of beer to celebrate the 4th of July. Be listening here to the Morning Extra starting on Monday, and all the details be there. Atlanta's most patriotic station, and we don't endorse Democrats here on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. So just a little bit for you there to get this thing up and running and rolling here in a little bit. So an extra $250, Los, what would you do with an extra $250?
You know.
Spend it on this trip. spend it on this trip that you're about to take off on.
I'm just closer to the million.
That's it. I know.
2 chicks at the same time.
Dude, you're quite look, I understand the goal, but 250, that's a long way from the goal. Like 250 is going to get you, that'll probably pay for maybe one of your plane tickets that you're about to fly off on. Maybe cover that.
I think we would cover a plane ticket. We'd be good shape there.
That money's going to Goodfellas.
That's right. It is going to Goodfellas or Good Old Days.
Whatever the version is in Minneapolis, Minnesota,
that's right.
More than likely is where that money would end up this weekend.
Los, now let's talk about the bet that you don't want to make. This is how you don't want to lose money, even though you want to win it on Extra. This is how you don't do it.
This was promoted earlier in the week, and it's a shocking amount of money to think about. So there was a bettor on Polymarket who decided what they were going to do is they were going to make themselves a cool $85,000. Now, that sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
85 grand, Well, here was the problem. He was going to wager on Spain to win their match against Cape Verde. And what it required in order to win $85,000 was to bet $1 million. That's how much of a long shot Cape Verde was to be in that match. And as we went through it and got through the information this week, this is one of the stories of the early part of the tournament that happened here in Atlanta, where Spain shot 27 times and never got a goal, and neither did Cape Verde, and they ended in a scoreless tie. The dude lost his $1 million.
Dude, how is the dumbest bet of all? I'm not a gambler, man, so I don't know how to put my money where my mouth is on this. But when I stand back and I see that you lost $1 million to try to win $87,000, that doesn't sound like a good idea to me. I mean, and I don't have $1 million. I just see this as foolish. And if you got that kind of money, maybe it doesn't matter. But you look like an idiot.
Honestly, if you got that kind of money, you've probably made similar wagers that's going to very easily put 85 grand in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at this and going, the biggest,
that's gotta happen.
Craziest difference in a matchup is I'm just taking Spain to win. They're playing Cape Verde. Cape Verde's never been to the World Cup. Spain is a European champion. We don't have a problem here. $1 million. That is the very definition of a bad beat. You bet $1 million to win $86,000, and you got nothing.
And you got nothing out of it.
I can't imagine sweating that one out. Like I sweat out like a $5 bet here every once in a while.
Yeah, just watching the game.
Dang it.
And then you watch the time tick off the clock, and you're like, oh no. I'm not ever going to be able to accomplish my goal if I were to get $1 million. The one that Lowe's brought up earlier. I'm never going to be able to.
What goal is that? Well, to think, like, for instance, Germany. They had a matchup earlier this week, and it was 1-1 at one point. But they had pulled away, and they ended up winning, 4-1. Well, if you had bet $1 million there, I believe with the odds on that particular matchup, you would have won, I believe the numbers came out to, it's like $124,000. It wasn't huge, but again.
Yeah.
So when you make that wager of $1 million, you're doing it on hey, this has got to be a pretty sure thing, right?
It's a done deal.
It's the Germans.
Yeah, it's a done deal.
And yet the Spanish.
were like,
Spain.
Oh, no.
By the way, Germany beat Curacao that day 7-1.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that match, and you would have thought, but no. It just when you think it's a sure thing, it's not. They don't build those big hotels and high rises out in Vegas on winters.
It's so funny to see the posts Because again, this was news. It was like, hey, somebody put down $1 million for Spain to win, and all of the follow-up comments like, it's gone, and it's gone, and just one thing after another of people like, dude, it's 0-0 at halftime, man. It's really bad.
Which is going to be exact opposite. Look, we're not asking you for anything, just your ear to win $250 in extra cash. We get started on the 29th. We'll tell you all about it on Monday, and then kind of lead you into the 4th of July with $250 in your pocket.
Tug, what would you do with $250?
Shoot, man, I'd go to the Waffle House and I'd take the whole neighborhood with me. Come on, y'all, let's get in the truck. I'd have people in the back of the pickup truck. Man, it'd be great because Waffle House, you can go. It's cheap. It's still cheap at Waffle House. Mama, we went over for Mother's Day. I said, showed up at the house.
I'm going to treat you right, Mama.
Well, no, I asked her. I was like, where do you want to go? And she was like, how you feel about going to Waffle House? I said, I feel real good about it. Thank you for asking. Let's go. And
I love that y'all's conversations are straight out of like a TV show, like Little House on the Prairie. I think I'd like that very much.
Yes, let's go do it. And we did. Let me tell you, I got me that old that new thing. I hadn't switched my order up in years. I got that
thing.
The protein bowl.
Oh.
Yeah, it's grilled chicken, and it's it's eggs, and it's got tomatoes and onions and peppers in there. It's got cheese on top, and then just a chopped up chicken breast. So it's like a protein bowl.
I ain't going to Waffle House to get my protein now.
I don't care. It's delicious. I'm telling you, it's so good.
I don't care what you want.
Yeah, you can sit down. You don't got to go with me. I didn't invite you no way. I took Mama. It was so good. Now, I do kind of sidestep the whole protein bowl because I did get me a side of hash browns. Come on. Yeah, I know how to live. I got some protein, and I got the deliciousness of hash browns.
Listen, all you got was just a little bit of potato in you.
That's
it's
it.
fine.
And I was so happy. I was so satisfied. Mama was happy and satisfied. It was a win, really, for the day.
Do you get a side waffle?
No, I don't like waffles.
What?
I don't like waffles or pancakes. I don't like sweet things in the morning.
Not a real country Tug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just call it what you want to.
I mean, I am thinking like I'm working with country legend. Like this is the reason why this man has received nominations for big awards. Then suddenly he just doesn't love the pancake.
I don't like pancakes or waffles. I just don't like syrup. I don't like sweet things in the morning.
Have you ever had a Cracker Barrel pancake?
Yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah, but I didn't like it then.
And then he got married and left such childish things aside.
That's right. Get out of here with that nonsense. Give me Uncle Herschel's. Love it. Los, safe travels, dude. Y'all go win a national championship.
Guys. We will check in with you guys, but yeah, I'll be back with you guys come Monday morning.
Let's go. This is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Listen on the app. You missed anything today? Great conversations, great discussions. And we're going to turn you over to the Glenn Beck program, Clay and Buck, and then the afternoon show with Kimber, Pete, and Flounder here on Extra. Y'all come back now. You hear?
Need more than just headlines on your ride to work? It's the Morning Extra, live from 6 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
I'm Michelle Stovall, and our company has been family-owned and operated for 75 years. Check us out at StovallINC.com, or better yet, stop by our newly opened 11th store at 9500 Union Hill Road in Canton. At Stovall, we supply you with all your landscaping project needs, completely hassle-free down to